We're live. I was asking Dom why is the heat off because you know what? You guys aren't going to poppycockers enough, so he can't afford to keep the heat on.
I was going to say because it's always warm at poppycockers.
It's always warm at poppycockers. What's going on?
Always hot.
What's going on, everyone? ECK. Who's online? Who's OBB? Online Big Blue. I thought that was self-explanatory. I guess that wasn't self-explanatory, but that's who OBB is. I couldn't find the time to spell it all out. ECK. Who's ECK?
I'm just imagining ECK sitting at home now going,
"Don't." The Homer Simpson moment. Don't. I didn't think about that. Oh, we have there we go. Oh, laughing my butt off. Laughing my ass off.
Oh man.
Oh my God. It's a crazy day.
Don't worry, my man. We all have moments where we think, really? Did I say that?
Well, the problem is he's a young one. He's a youngin, so he shouldn't have senior moments at 10 or 11 or 12 or exactly what old he is. Shouldn't have senior moments. Not like us.
Maybe he's old before his years.
Dom was wonking already. Dom, did you get wonking already? What'd you do?
I don't think I did anything yet.
Well, I have to admit it.
I paid you a compliment. Look, I'm just going back up to see what I said. I paid you a compliment.
You filled me with confidence that you haven't got wonked yet.
Yeah, I mean, should we have a bet now? Can I last longer without going into timeout than you will before you get fired for cursing on air?
That bet didn't work out too well for you. That didn't work out too well, did it?
I didn't say which way I was betting, though.
Dom and I were talking about my radio opportunity that I have coming up, and the first show is going to be on February 18th. And I was talking about all the rules and regulations and things that I have to do, and the producer, and I probably shouldn't talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyways, and the producer and what he wants me to do and all this stuff. I don't work that way. Sorry. I don't work this way. I do what I want to do. It's my prerogative.
Technically, you can do what you want to do.
It's my prerogative. I do what I want to do. What's up, Alex Sports? Zach Attack, of course, is in the house. He wants Mr. Flores. Oh, for all those pining for Sean Payton. Oh, Sean Payton. Oh, Sean Payton. He's not coming. He's under contract to 2020 till the end of 2024. So we would have to trade for him still, even with the retirement. Just on that.
I'm not sure he doesn't want a break, right?
I think he wants a break. I think, and plus I think it's Fox Sports is like pushing hard for him to what you call it.
I can say a lot of chatter already about him getting in the studio on TV.
Yeah, and you got the Dallas, and plus you got, there's talk about Dallas and all that. Hey, Alex Sports, yes, Zach, it's the FCC guidelines. It's called terrestrial radio. Terrestrial. I can't remember what the guy said. There's rules.
And we know how good you are with rules.
I'm not good with rules.
You're about as good with rules as Matt is in Carolina.
Yeah, but
it is my professional.
Wait a minute, wrong button. There we go. I had to find the right button.
I'm not sure it's even worthy of that, to be honest.
Yeah, the producer wants you to do some prep. Yes, he wants me to write shit down and send it to him. What the fuck? What the hell, man? We don't do that. Right, Dom?
No, and you're not making it to 0009.
The bet is, will I be fired within the first 19 minutes? Dom has me at 19 minutes. I assume they're going to figure out I'm a fraud in the first 12 minutes because I still don't know anything about hockey.
I hate to tell you this, but I had 9, not 19.
You had 9. Screw you. I like you anyways. I don't like you. What's up, Scotty?
For the news.
What's up, Scotty? Dom, you're moving your mic again.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't move your mic. People can't hear you. Can't hear the wittiness.
Well, probably really will.
Why Sean Payton's not gonna go to Dallas. He's gonna take some time off. Got a Taco Bell, watching it in an ice stream. It's a good day. Devin, I'm a little upset that you did not bring me any Taco Bell. But that's okay. We're all right. What does ECK got here? We should have looked for depth in a wide receiver free agency for the cheap. Most likely cutting Sterling Shepard, and our other wide receivers have been injury prone. Yeah. Anything we get is going to be on the cheap. I mean, there's going to be no. I mean, Dom. Is there any doubt beyond that anything we get this year is going to have to be on the cheap?
I mean, you've got two options, haven't you? You either backload the contract massively backload it, but we've already done that, or you go on the cheap. And I think if you're sensible with expectations low and clean slate, you go cheap and say, look, we do the best we can this year, but we're building through the draft because that's what good organizations and good teams do.
Sensible. That's a good word. Sensible. We're not that.
We might be.
We're not that. But the Giants aren't that. But anything. Oh, here's a good question. Sounds like too much work. Yes, it does sound too much work. Oh no, Tim Curse. Time to ban him. No, I'm in control. I'm in control here. Do you even prep for your videos, or do you just wing it? Well, I'm going to tell you something here, Alex. I'm gonna be honest for a minute here. You know, there's a lot of prep that goes into my videos. I have to walk downstairs. I have to open the office door. I open my bottle of water. I got to sit down, and then I got to turn everything on, and then I talk for 10 minutes, and then I turn everything off, and I go back upstairs. It takes a lot of effort to go down in the basement. Didn't
you forget putting the coffee on so that when you finish talking, it's ready for when you go back upstairs?
Actually, I've been drinking the coffee early now. So I've been taking the coffee with me now. No, I don't do any prep work. I probably shouldn't admit that. I do zero. I don't do any prep work for this.
we never do. Hence, we Google live on air.
Where's James? Because I need a Googler. Because we all know Dom is not the Googler. Ooh, new superhero, the Googler. Sounds like too much work. It does sound like too much work. What do you think?
James is after a quarterback and a trip to Poppycockers.
Everyone wants to go to Poppycockers, man. Everyone. What do you think about the NFL overtime rules?
Me?
The guy next to you.
I didn't know if you were going to handle it first. Look.
That's what she said.
I've always felt, even in regular season games, that both sides should get an opportunity to have the ball on offense and see what they can do. I'm assuming this is going to be referring to the game, the Chiefs Bills, because essentially with the way those defenses were, they were done. They had nothing left, right?
They were both spent.
Whoever won that toss essentially won the game, because unless that offense made a mistake, it was going to go down and score. And what a game, by the way. But I think, and what a spectacle it would have been to have both sides shooting it out, see who was going to break first. So that's my view. Both sides should touch the ball.
Don't mind me. I'm setting my watch.
I figured. I'm boring you already.
I'm sorry, Dom. Did you say something?
I don't know.
All I heard was blah 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 blah. Tim is great. That's all I heard. That's all I heard.
And some whinging from Buffalo, which will please my friend, the King of the Idiots.
Where is Chris? I am torn. Well, that's not good. I am torn between Dable and Flores.
Natalie Imbruglia's in the chat. I remember my poor pop star. Natalie Imbruglia, I'm sure she did torn. Never mind. Carry on.
I don't have to carry on without him. I am torn between Flores and Dable. Dable has more continuity, familiarity was shown, but has never been head coach. Flores has more experience, but not as much on the people. First of all, Flores is not a people person. I love Flores. Everyone knows that if I cannot get Jimmy H, if I can't get Harbaugh, Flores would be my guy, because I like the arrogant talker, the guy that doesn't take SHIT, the guy that, does it still matter if you spell shit? The FCC does define you.
I mean, but if you're saying it out loud straight after, so I don't think that this makes much difference.
Yeah, it makes difference. I like that guy. I like the cocky guy. I like the guy with the attitude. I like the guy that's going to get in your face. I like that guy. And I also like a guy that had a 1-8 team and finished 9-8. He's got the experience. You never hear anything outside of Tua about his players saying that they don't like him. And that's the thing I respect with him. And you know what? He got these guys to buy in and play hard, even at 1-8 or 1-7 or whatever the hell it was. He got them to play hard.
I think there's three other things you say on that. Is one, most head coaches have an ego, and are gonna. And I think you'd rather have a straight talker who's going to tell you you're not playing or you are playing rather than not. I think secondly, he's got a bit of a track record from Miami, and he turned that franchise around very quickly on the field. But thirdly, I think there's an element of this being slightly overdone here between the power struggle between him and Greer. And ultimately, I think for me, Greer had the ear of the absentee owner, and therefore his version of events is the one that's carrying traction right now.
It's what's being held through the papers. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100% with that. Sean Payton's going to pull another Bruce Arians. Yeah, problem with Bruce Arians is I don't think Bruce Arians was under contract. I think his contract was up. Payton's he's got through 2024 on his deal. So anything we do is a trade, is a trade scenario, a situation. What's up,
He'll be
Jeff?
fielding calls, though. He'll be fielding calls. Payton will be fielding calls.
That's true. No, I don't think he will. I think he's going to take a year off. I really do.
I think so too. But I mean, everyone should be seeing where he's at, right? If you've got a vacancy or a potential vacancy, you want to be giving him a call and seeing where he's at. But I agree.
Yeah, you want to see where his mindset is. You want to see where his head's at. You ever know the Wiggles, the kids show?
No,
you don't know the Wiggles. They're from Australia. They have a song called "Wake Up, Jeff." So every time I see Jeff Newman in the chat, I think it's on "Wake Up, Jeff." Everybody's wiggling. Sorry. Maybe that's an America's thing. It's a nice sunny day in Panama. Had a nice cold beer. Well, you're about to get banned.
Yeah,
because it's like 20.
You're not jealous at all. Here. I've got my man blanket.
I was like, Dom's at the man blankie. So you're about to get banned, likely. Why would any GM want to deal with Brian Flores? Because he's a good coach. Because he's had 2 winning seasons out of 3, and he just had a dust up with the owner and the general manager. I worry about bringing in, for all the father that we had with John Mara, we're not doing this anymore. We're not doing this anymore. Well, you brought in a rookie GM, and are you really going to bring in a rookie head coach?
If you are, you're going to have to give it time, and you're taking a risk.
Right. You're taking a risk. Putting up points. Got some questions here. Scouting experts are saying Willis needs to work on his decision making. Yeah. What makes you think he'll be better than whom? They also said that the same thing about Jones, and we know he's god awful. Yeah, I know he's god awful. Jones is. Hold on, Dom. I gotta jump out of the stream a minute because there's something going on upstairs. So Dom, you do the talking.
Oh, bad luck, guys. You get me for a little while, and I can't move anything on. But look, I mean, here's where I'm at on Willis. I think Malik Willis comes in, right, and he is a player that you'd have to sit for a year if he comes in. And Tim's not going to like this because I, funny enough, wouldn't take Willis. But I think him and Willis are him and Jones are very, very different types of quarterbacks. And as a result of those differences, I think that while they might have some similarities in terms of their deficiencies, I think Willis is far more mobile, and I think that will open up opportunities for him to create plays in different ways. So from that point of view, I'm less worried about those comparisons. But I think he is a developmental pick, and I'd be worried that if he's going in the top 10, that you're taking a chance in a position where we can't take a chance again and fail. But also that you want your top 10 draft pick to be that. To be a success, because we can't afford yet another failure there. So that's my view. I wouldn't be taking Willis, but it's not necessarily the concerns about that he's got there. It's the fact that he's going to be drafted too high. If we took him, say 20, I've got less of an issue with that. But I'm going to try and scroll down. I can't put him on screen because I don't have control. Tim does, but at least I can't get banned for the next 5 minutes. But just scrolling down. O-line and defensive end in first, Scotty. I'm more inclined to look towards that with my draft picks. If it was me, I'd trade one down, but I'd be looking for your best player available and looking to fill holes. And certainly O-line and defensive ends are holes that you definitely want to look to fill if you can. Oh dear me. He's he's back. Here he is.
Yeah, geez, Dom, the freaking count dropped to like 4.
Well, not a surprise. You left me freewheeling with no control. Anyway, you'll be pleased to know that I said that I'm not against taking us an edge and an O-lineman with our first 2 picks, and that I wasn't concerned overly about Willis's traits in comparison to Jones, because I think they're very different types of quarterbacks. My concern about Willis is you're probably going to have to draft him top 10, and he's a developmental pick that you can't guarantee. Not that you can guarantee for anyone, but that we can't afford to miss with another top 10 pick given recent history.
You're right. And Dom, I like to thank you for that, because we all know this spot,
she said,
was going to be this spot, of course, as always, sponsored by Dom and Poppycockers, the best in adult entertainment, all in the London South End. If you want your poppycock, go see Dom at the Poppycockers. That's because Dom did such a good job.
Right. You might want to watch back and check that. As our former head coach would say, I've got to check the tape.
Chill Daddy's saying, speak up. Where's your microphone? Got to talk like this into your microphone.
Sorry, my man.
Talk so people can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Yes, you can. You're just messing around with me now.
I might be doing. Hey, Tyrone, what's going on? Tyrone and Dom and the Dom. What the F is going on in Giant Land? I say we go defense with both picks. I don't mind going defense with both. No, I can't go defense with both picks. I can't. Unless Hutchinson falls, but the kid from Michigan, maybe.
I can. We've got so many holes that I think you go best player available. I think that I have priority holes I'd want to fill, but if it's let's say we trade down to 12 and Hamilton's there, like we don't need a safety, but Hamilton at 12 is probably a steal.
Yeah, but we actually kind of do need a safety. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Love God, for the super chat. And you have your question I saw was down here, so hopefully I think you forgot to attach it. But thank you for the super chat. What would your first 3 picks be in the draft? I'm going to go. Of course, I am going. See, this is the thing. I don't want to go players yet because I don't know yet because I haven't scouted it. But if I'm going positionally, I got to go defensive end. I'm going quarterback. And then this draft has a plethora of O linemen that we could probably get in the second round. And I'm going to go O lineman.
I'm also going defensive end. I think my second pick is a trade back pick. And I think if you've got one of the top linebackers there, I'd be tempted to take it, which is why I wouldn't mind doubling down on defense too much. But otherwise, I'm certainly taking O lineman in the second round, and I wouldn't be against an O lineman. I think best player available with that first round pick, if it's O line or middle linebacker, that's probably where I'm looking with that second pick. So
with the second pick what about he said the first 3 picks though? Yeah.
So first pick defensive end, second pick would be middle linebacker if you can. If not, I'd take an offensive lineman, and my third pick in the second round, I think you'll get value on the offensive line. But ideally, that some combination of those.
I like that. I can see that. Oh, we got ourselves a new subscriber here. So you know what you get, Chris.
Welcome to the party, pal.
New subscriber here. Love your show. Big G-Man fan since the 80s. Sad to see our current state of affairs. How many picks do we have this year? 4,968.
Let me check exactly how many.
What do we have? 7? How many? We have an inordinate amount.
I want to say 9 or 10.
9. I'm not Dom. You're supposed to.
I'm just checking it now.
Google, Dom. You should see the questions ahead of time and then you Google it. Oh my God, Dom. If you don't, Dom, my wife says you just have to stop learning how to Google because you don't know what you're doing. Where's the cake?
Oh, dang.
Well, you went and got pound cake. You're banging on the door waiting for me. Oh, I got a surprise. It's food with online Big Blue. It's pound cake from the fancy restaurant place across the street. With how much? That pound cake, ever done my wife say like $20. So I better get some damn super chats because I can't afford $20. I'm on a budget. I'm like the Giants. I got to shop like in the 4-day-old section. We got 11 picks this year. What about next season?
Let me check. I mean, I'd imagine 8.
Love God, look what you started.
I can't remember how many picks we picked up in the trade last year.
Love God, look what you started. Look what you started. Dom is Googling. He can't find stuff. But James is throwing out some support. Dom, he left you to hold down the fort. James, that's only because you weren't in the chat. Because I would have said James. I would have done it secretly too. So Dom went here. I'll be like, James, can you please come on to the chat because I need some help because I don't want Dom to hear me.
Clean up in aisle 7 and James pops in to replace me.
Clean up in aisle 7. Clean up in aisle 7. This is a good question. Willis is a creator, while DJ's a deer in headlights at crunch time. The thing with Willis's decision-making process, he didn't have an issue in 2020 because his offensive line was better. He had better tools around him in reference to some of his skilled guys. And this year in 2021, and people are going to say the same, but well, Daniel Jones had the same problems. Well, no, it's the difference between having no talent at Liberty and playing Old Miss and some of these other teams and having no NFL talent. Because if you're on an NFL roster, you have talent. You could be on a college roster and not have talent. I'm living proof of that. Sorry, I like that. It was good too. He had no decision-making problems that first starting season. It was when his talent around him disappeared that he thought he had to create and do more on his own. Which that's a bad way to play, because you're more apropos of turning over the ball, making a bad throw, making a throw that you probably shouldn't throw, but you feel like you got to make the play, so you're going to make it anyways. The kid still was responsible for 40 touchdowns last year. 40 touchdowns, either throwing the ball or running the ball.
I think you have to give him kudos for the fact his talent got worse around him, and while his levels dropped off slightly, they didn't drop off as significantly as the talent level around him. And for that, you have to give him great credit. And there's a lot of people talking about I hate to bring it up, given what Joe Judge said, the intangibles around him, about what he does in and around. And I think you want your quarterback to be a leader, and I'm not convinced that Daniel Jones is a leader.
I don't think he's a leader. I don't think he's a leader. I've said it before. You see him always partying with the guys and all, but that partying with the guys does not make you a leader.
There's a great British sitcom about UK politics where the minister says, "I am their leader, therefore I must lead where they take me." And it's kind of a Daniel Jones thing, that he thinks he's the leader, but he just follows what the rest of the team are asking him to do.
Yep.
Apart from Golladay, because he never throws him the ball.
He never throws the ball. Saw a throw against Virginia Tech where he threw a nice cross to body pass, a pass that you should not do. And that's what he did. He did it. I actually know exactly which pass you're talking about. Daniel C says, I wouldn't take a quarterback in the top 10. Watch this. I would go with 2023. The problem is you don't know what's going to happen in 2023. Everyone's thinking Bryce Young is the guy. What if Bryce Young throws up a stinker? What if he's a Tua and gets hurt? We don't know. We don't know who's coming out. If your guy is there and you think he's your guy, you go get him. Right or wrong with the Mitchell Trubisky crap. How that Chicago traded into the second pick to get him. They thought he was his guy, and he did lead them to the playoffs twice.
People do forget that, and people that that have a go at Nagy forget, actually, do you know what? He didn't take the Chicago where they wanted to, but he doesn't have an awful record there. Funny enough, though, agree with Daniel. I would be looking and taking the risk on 2023, but you're right. We don't know where we're picking. You don't know who's coming out. But I would put more pieces around a new quarterback.
So let's say this. I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Let's say you build your own line. You find the pieces that you were looking for this year. You wait till next year to get a quarterback. Nothing comes out, and there's no free agents that you really like. Are you going to have the Jake Fromms of the world, or are you going to go with year 5 with Daniel Jones?
I don't think
you're taking your risk. To me, my risk assessment with not taking a quarterback in this draft is extremely high, because I don't know what's going to go on this season, and I don't know what the hell's going to go on next season.
I mean, that's a risk you take, right? But I think you also, what I don't want to do, and I know you're high on Malik Willis, and I have no issue, by the way, if we like a quarterback and we take them this year. I have no issue with that. Like you say, if that's your guy, you take them. But what I don't want us to do is go, my God, we don't have Daniel Jones and we don't know where we're picking next year. Let's force a quarterback because we think we like him. I want to know we like him before we do it. But if I don't know I like it, I take that risk.
Here's the problem.
Right now, I take that risk.
Here's the problem, though. You don't take a quarterback in 2022. Malik Willis turns into something. 2023, you still don't have a quarterback. You're in the same situation. And then are you forced to take a quarterback in the draft?
It depends. I mean, depends on your cap, but you might be able to get another bridge. Yes, you're continually bridging, but you might then have to give up trade capital. But whatever you do, there's a risk. There's a risk to taking it this year. There's a risk to taking it next year. My preference right now is to take it next year. But both are risks. It's a risk if you take it this year. And I agree, Malik Willis is either going to be a major player or he's going to be awful.
Malik Willis Express.
There's no risk. You're either on the Malik Willis Express or you're under it. Just remember that, because it's going to steamroll the NFL.
We'll see. The guy top level, his top ceiling is very, very high. Let's not kid ourselves. It is. There's a reason he's rising up draft boards, and it's not just because he's a quarterback. But there is still a risk. There's a risk with any player, but there is still a risk in that.
Now, you weren't the one that did the poppycockers, the thing. You weren't the one that sent me the email. Gonna sue Dom for punitive damage, trying to make me find poppycockers, and it can be totally fake. You weren't the one that's funny, though, but you weren't the one that sent me the email looking for poppycockers. You weren't the one. You weren't the one at all. Would you trade up for Hutchinson or KT? I would trade up for Hutchinson.
I'm not trading up for anyone, I think.
I would trade up for Hutchinson.
I think
Even though he kind of got blasted in the bowl game a little bit, it's one game. I would still trade up for him.
One game's one game, you know.
Right.
But I'm not sure I trade up for anyone right now with where we are. I really don't. I think there are other edge rushers you could take.
I am running the show on my TV and laptop. Check your TCP/IP settings. New subscriber to Dom's Tea Time channel. Well, it's a new subscriber to Dom's Tea Time channel because Dom did such a great job. I was looking. Dom did a great job.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Actually, Dom's Tea Time channel would be, "Ooh, I'm Dom. I'm having tea." Right?
Because we're so good at accents.
We are good at accents. The best line. I was on Bad Dog's show yesterday, and the best line of the show was when Bad Dog was mentioning Dom, and Bad Dog was going, he was trying to do the British accent, and he goes, I shouldn't do that. He goes, I'm terrible at British accents. I said, don't worry, so is Dom. So it was all good.
I saw that. You mentioned to me. I went looking for it earlier.
You did look for it?
That made me laugh. Yeah, it really made me laugh.
So if you're new to Dom's Tea Time, your sound effect will be
draft, baby. Yeah.
That's gonna be your sound effect. If you're new to Dom's Tea Time, Tim should unban AB so he can trash him again. Who's AB? I don't think AB's banned.
Antonio Brown?
No, AB is was a subscriber. He's not. He was put in timeout. He was never banned.
There's always a way out of timeout. I prove it every week, multiple times.
No, you don't. You can stay there forever now. That's what you get. That's okay. I told one dude. Okay, this is a good one. I told one dude it was a mistake for him to chain himself to DJ Sinking Ship, and he cried for 30 minutes. I hope he didn't literally cry. I told him I couldn't hear him from the bottom of the ocean. Then I promised to start.
Was it Joe Judge? Please tell me it was Joe Judge.
It might have been Joe Judge. It might have been Joe. Dom, clean up an aisle, Dom. Clean up an aisle. I like that one. Get a pass rusher opposite of Ojulari. I like Azeez Ojulari. I like the kid a lot. I think he's got a high end. I think he's got a good motor, good talent. But year 2 is going to be the precipice of his career. We're going to need to figure out what he is, because now the league knows what he is. So he needs to, we said this a million times, he needs to adjust, to the league. And if he doesn't, we're going to find out real quick what Azeez Ojulari is.
I'm exactly with you. I think he's fine. I think, you always worry the second year and players regress, but I'm never too worried if they regress year 2. It's what they do then in year 3. But I'm a big fan of getting a second pass rusher across them. I think if you can get after the quarterback, you can get the ball off the defense and make some plays on defense, that helps your offense out massively.
I agree. And thank you for the big super chat coming in, Mike Glenn. Do we go out and get Sean Payton now that he's available? Mike, you probably missed it in the beginning of the show. Sean Payton's under contract through 2024. So even though he is no longer the coach and he is retired, he's still contractually obligated, even though they're not paying him, till the end of 2024. So we would still literally have to trade for him to get him on the team. I mean, I would get Sean Payton. I'm not going to give him any draft assets to get Sean Payton, but I would go get Sean Payton.
You got to kick the tires on Sean Payton. I mean, what he did in New Orleans over 18 years? No, 16 years is phenomenal.
Years.
Well, 15 because he had a year out. He got time out.
Yeah, well, it was technically 16. Yes, but it was technically 16 years.
Yeah, it was just nothing short of phenomenal. I know he had Breeze, but I actually almost think you could make an argument for this year being one of his best ever years. He was it 9-8, I think, this year, or 8-9, somewhere around 500. He used 4 quarterbacks, 4 this year.
And he had Jameis Winston. Actually, was doing pretty well.
I actually thought Jameis Winston played all right, actually. But Ian Book, Trevor Simeon, and Taysom Hill were the other 3. And he went 9-8 and damn near made the playoffs with that roster, with no Michael Thomas for most of the year. And they had that hurricane at the start. I mean, they missed the first 2 games at home, I think it was. But all that disruption. And he still went 9-8. I mean, with one of the most beaten up rosters. And I know a lot of teams were this year. It's nothing short of phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. We need some weed, evidently, to deal with the chat. I need some weed to deal with the chat, bro. Maui Wowie or Panama Red? What are we getting? What are we getting? What are we doing? What are we doing? Does this guy have a channel? Who, Dom?
I don't.
You know what's funny? I laugh because I'm reading from Chill Daddy. Does this guy have a channel? And then I ask him a question like he is going to respond to the question. I was just literally thinking. I'm sitting here pausing, going, "Are you talking about Dom?" And I'm thinking to myself, "Dumbass, it's a text or it's an IM or whatever it's called. He's not going to respond to you."
I mean, I'm assuming so, but we could have missed something in the chat because it's going crazy.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I am way behind on the chat here. I'm trying to get to everyone. Stop yelling at me. Stop yelling at me. I don't do well.
Wait. Are you talking to people in the chat or are you talking to Mrs. Online Big Blue?
I'm talking to Mrs. Online Big Blue. Oh, God, I'm still in the air. If we can't get Willis, who do you want to go after? I like the Riddler.
I was going to ask you this question.
I like the Riddler. Same style. I don't think he has the same upside or the same flair or panache. I like the Riddler. I think he would fit the mold of the Bryan offense.
Probably falls to second round as well.
Yeah, I think he would be in the second round, easily in the second round. And I think we could easily probably even trade back into the second round.
And also, with you being the Batman, that would make a nice fit.
I am the Batman. Everyone knows that. I think I'm Batman. I don't know where my Batman button is. Oh, I know where my Batman button is. I'm Batman. Everyone knows I am Batman. I'm trying to get to you people. Everyone just leave me the hell alone. If we can't, I already did that one. If we can't get Willis. I didn't see Jeffrey. Here's Jeffrey. Draft 2 offensive linemen, then put the blame on him. That's good. Then the coach of the play calling, etc. Yeah, because you think that will happen. You know, I don't know. I just can't keep throwing picks at the same positions repeatedly and hoping to get different results. I understand it's different drafts. I understand that. I'm just not a fan of the idea of wasting your draft capital on 2 offensive linemen. We have so many other problems. The offensive line is a huge problem, but we have no pass rush.
I'm certainly not taking my first 2 picks as O linemen.
We have an aging secondary. We have no linebackers.
We have no rush.
We have no rush. We have nothing.
We have no quarterback.
We don't have a quarterback.
We literally have no tight ends.
We have no tight ends.
Literally. We could be moving on from Rudolph, Ingram, and Caden Smith this year. We could literally have no tight ends because Toya Vailoa or whatever his name was. Yeah, I'm not sure if he's still with us because obviously he got injured for the year, so I don't quite know where he sits. But
yeah, he's going to sit in the back of the room because he's going to not be on the team. He's not going to be on this roster. I can tell you that right now.
A blocking tight end that can't block is always a recipe for success.
Wife says pound cake is good, but you'll gain 10 pounds eating it. So why did you give me the pound cake?
You could just pretend there are lots of cameras on you as you gain 10 pounds when the camera's on you. But
I agree with him that Daniel Jones doesn't show true leadership ability. There is a difference between being a leader on the field and being a leader off the field. There's a difference between being a leader in the locker room, and I can attest to this firsthand. There are guys you just follow. There are guys that you just, and Kyler Murray is one of those guys. Jalen Hurts is one of those guys. Patrick Mahomes is one of those guys. They're guys that the team just rallies around. And they buy into him. They buy into him, and I think I don't see that with Daniel Jones.
I think there are different types of leaders, right? He's not a rah-rah leader, but nor was Eli Manning. But I just don't think there's a respect there, and I think he doesn't seem to carry the natural confidence in himself to be a leader in any way. And I think he tries to lead in the Eli Manning way, but he's not either Eli Manning, and he just, like I say, just doesn't have that confidence in himself where Eli, you just felt trusted himself. And I think you can see that in the way the coaching staff last year just didn't trust him. And and he didn't seem to trust himself at crunch times.
No, he didn't. I will trust Schoen. You know what I'm going to say this about Schoen? I'm going to say this. I don't not trust him. I mean, I don't feel that it's the same situation as we had with Gettleman. I don't think it's the same situation. I'm going to do this at the same time. People are asking me questions. I don't think it's the same situation that we had with Judge, because I didn't trust either of those guys. But, Schoen's got more of a track record. I think we do have to we have to give him the benefit of the doubt for what he has done as an executive throughout his entire career, starting back in 2000 as an intern in the Panthers ticket office. I mean, like I said, I hated Judge from day one. And I hated him for certain reasons, and I pontificated those certain reasons. I never had a problem with any of the GM candidates. I will say this, though. With Ryan Poles going to Chicago, you have to hope we didn't make a mistake.
Only one way to find out, and only time will tell. But you never liked Joe Judge. You're absolutely right.
I hated Joe
I've
Judge.
said before I did at the start, but not because of the press conference. Never that. But I think we've shown you just have to hope that he's the right guy. I think whoever we brought in was not going to have the track record as a GM. It was going to be a first time GM. But you look at the guys that all made the second interview: Peters, Poles, and Schoen.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with all three. Obviously you take one, but they all have good track records, good scouting network, good experience in the league. Part of the process that rebuilt 3 franchises, make them better, and brought in a whole load of good players. I mean, Schoen, I've got it here. I did actually jot this down earlier. I think
you wrote
only
something
one.
down.
I know, I was amazed. 1 out of 37 players
He's no longer in the league.
It is no longer in the league. 1 out of 37 at his time in Buffalo is just phenomenal. And he's worked in a few organizations as well, and I think that helps.
Yep. Danny says we can't trade up. We need picks, not less. Have to build a roster. I agree.
Yeah, I don't trade up for anyone.
I agree. What is that binging over there now?
It's my work phone going off.
Yeah. What does Charlemagne not understand how to work the change machine? Malik Willis.
It was actually one of my colleagues very kindly checking that I wasn't working too late because my wife has COVID, so I'm doing childcare and work. So I was working till late last night, and he was checking I was all right and didn't need anything. He was going to take some work off my hands, so you could have him on. Maybe he could co-host with you.
I was going to say, does he have talent?
Many talents. So I'm not sure NFL commentary would be one, but
Malik Willis is very similar to Josh Allen as a prospect. I agree. I think they're similar. I think they're similar. I think they similar situations, similar circumstances, similar potential deficiencies. But like I said, I mean, only time is going to tell here. Willis's ceiling is Vic. That's why I call him Ultra Vic. The floor is Aaron Brooks, which isn't a bad. Aaron Brooks was not a bad quarterback with the Saints. Every best quarterback in Virginia high school football is Allen. Allen Iverson would have been Mahomes before Mahomes. NFL got lucky, he chose basketball. And that's actually something that Tyrone and I have talked about previously. People forget that Allen Iverson was one hell of a high school quarterback. That's a world famous basketball player. No.
I got that.
Well, how did you get that? Oh, he chose basketball.
Because it says on the screen.
Really, you want to show me
read.
Up? You want to show me up?
Well, I try every week. I'm yet to succeed, but you never know.
Hey, Dom, read this. Did you read that? Did it come through loud and clear? Showing me up on my channel.
Yeah, number 1, and then number 2.
Allen Iverson was one hell of a guy. He really was. Weston Richburg out of the NFL already. He wasn't drafted in second round. Gross. Was Westberg out of the NFL? I thought he was still playing.
I can check. And Eli Apple was playing the other day.
Dom, you look like Bono from U2.
I'm sure that's a compliment, but
I don't know. I don't remember what Bono looks like. When does the radio start? The radio starts and ends on February 18th. It starts and ends. February 18th, there will be an announcement. You can stream it on their webpage. So there is streaming capability. So it will be from the first day. It's February 18th. It will be from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. So join in the first, I would say, according to Dom, join in the first 9 minutes because they're probably going to pull me after that.
Yeah, the news will be a bit dull for the first 5. Then there'll be an intro, and then the swearing will start, and then the producer will take over.
You forgot about the commercials. There's commercials.
Because you guys have commercials far often than we do. By the way, Richburg is out of the league. He retired.
Oh, we did retire. Okay, good. Frank Zappa says, wait till he finds the rest of my comments. I'm looking at the comments. Good job on Bad Dog last night, Tim. Thank you, Joseph. Bad Dog was a fun show. It was a good show. I enjoyed it.
I've caught some of it. It looked a good show. And it always is with you two, I'm sure.
We were both tired.
You went till like 11:30 or something, didn't you? You didn't start. I looked at the time and it must have started, 10?
Yeah.
And you went for about an hour and a half.
Yeah. I mean, it was
Which
tiring.
is a short show for you guys because normally you talk for about 4.5 hours.
Well, you know what? He had to get up like at 5.
I got up at 5 this morning.
Yeah. And I tell him, I said, well, that's good because I got to get up at 6. And so we were both like, yeah, let's do an hour and a half. I don't like Malik Willis at 5 or 7. That's way too high. Okay, well, everyone can have that. Oh, wait a minute.
I agree, but if you're going to reach, you reach for quarterback.
How crazy is it? If we can't agree in the chat, imagine how crazy it was for the Giants front office last year when Judge went to Maryland. Like, Jason has to go. He's making DJ look bad. I don't know what's going on in the chat. Have you been watching the chat? Because I haven't been watching the chat today.
I've not seen that, but I'm just having a nice time imagining Joe Judge ranting at Mara. Literally, I've got 11 minutes of your time, and I want to rant about this.
It's all Jason Garrett's fault.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't.
It's all Jason Garrett's fault. He did it. Fire him. Fire him now.
And I want pizza at my house after. And ice cream.
And it's all Freddie Kitchen's fault. Spike the like button. Yes, please hit the like button because liking evidently helps the channel. Blah, 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 blah. I'm supposed to do things and they think, oh, Jeffrey, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I'm trying to scroll through here. Long overdue. Patrick Graham taking an interview with the Steelers. Maybe the 3-4 change to the 4-3. So the Giants head coach and OC in DC. A lot of new changes besides our so-called franchise quarterback. Now he's taking the interview for, of course, the defensive coordinator's position. So I mean, I was never adverse to Patrick Graham coming back with the Giants. I just kind of felt the new regime wasn't going to hold on to him.
You'd have thought he'd move on and bring in their own guys, right?
Yeah,
but
I mean, I still think he's like a year or two away from getting an NFL, getting a head coaching job.
Yeah, I think if he does a good job as a DC somewhere else again, if he gets a head coaching job direct from us now, do we get something for that under the rules? Have I imagined this? Do we get like a comp pick or something? Have I dreamt that?
I think you dreamt that because I don't think he's under contract.
I don't know if he is under contract or not. But if he is under contract, I think
if he is under contract, I think we would get something compensatory.
Yeah, I think
if he's still with the organization, and he's still we would. But I don't know when his contract runs through.
No, I don't know. And
it's the whole Sean Payton thing. Sean Payton, even though he's retired, is still under contract. So that's why no one would be able to sign him as like a free agent until after the 2024 season. This is a good question, though, but thank you, Jeffrey, for the super chat. Of course, Johnny ABA. I thought Shane, sorry, is casting a Y net. Why isn't he at least interviewing Bieniemy or Leftwich? I don't know. I have been a huge Bieniemy fan 2 years ago. Not only because of the fact that I think he's a good coach, because I want to call him the Bieniemy of the NFC East.
There's going to be a button, isn't there?
Somehow it's all about me. Somehow it always goes back me.
Are we allowed to interview these guys now? I forget because they're
you can interview them. Yes, you can't hire them. There's a window of opportunity. You can interview them each week, but you cannot hire them. Of course,
up to like Thursday, isn't it?
Yeah,
and you can't. Can you second interview them?
You could second interview them as well, but it's up to a certain date. It's up to a certain date and time. And why he's not looking at Leftwich, I think a lot of people are going to kind of say what they said about Bieniemy. Back in 2019, Bieniemy wasn't calling the plays; he was installing the game plans. Andy Reid was calling the plays the last 2 seasons. Bieniemy has been calling the plays. Byron Leftwich himself, right now, people are saying it's Tom Brady. You know, I could be a great offensive coordinator if I had Tom Brady. I mean, that's what people are saying. I'm not saying that.
You can make that argument out of Babel. He's got Allen, right? But I think the other thing with Leftwich is you forget what he did with. He was the OC when Jameis Winston was their quarterback, and I know he threw ridiculous amounts.
Yeah, he just never threw the ball. He just never threw the ball away.
Stupidly, but he actually designed a very good offense. He just didn't have the quarterback. Now you can say, well, then you need to change it to suit the quarterback. But he had a quarterback who could throw. He just had a quarterback that had no brain and threw the ball stupidly.
Right. Did you say Jameis Winston didn't have a brain?
Yeah.
Okay.
Boy, he didn't. I mean, in that year in Tampa.
Okay, in that year.
He made stupid decisions. I actually thought he played quite well at the start for New Orleans this year before he got hurt.
He got hurt, yeah. Oh, we got another super chat from Jeffrey. Of course, super chats all go to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. Thank you again, Jeffrey, for 2 in a row. Jeffrey, you get the 2 in a row button. Hold on, I'm gonna. When you have a super chat, there is gonna be the super chats. You get a 2 in a row button here. Okay, let's find a 2 in a row. Let's find something that's 2 in a row. Oh, I got something.
2 in the box.
Ready to go.
We be fast and
They be slow.
And I am monumentally slow. Just ask my grade school teacher. New GM, new head coach, new DC, no new quarterback. Am I missing something? Yes. You were missing a lot there because you know what? You're 100% right. I mean, that's my thing about Daniel Jones. And I know a lot of people want to use him as the stopgap, Dom. A lot of people. I want to get rid of him. I want to flush him. Because to me, and I jokingly said it on Bad Dog Show, he's a coach killer. He killed Shermer's career and he killed Joe Judge's career.
Daniel Jones, coach killer.
Coach killer. That's gonna be the new one. Daniel Jones, coach killer. I like that one.
I mean, I'm not against the bridge. I know I wasn't against Daniel Jones being a bridge. The reason I have an issue, and I think you is I don't think he's the answer. We both agree on that. I think part of the reason why you want it, and I think there's a lot of sense in this, by the way, is that it's the sort of effect around the organization and with the fan base that we're moving on. This is a real fresh start, and I think there's a lot in that. The big issue I now have with Daniel Jones as our bridge quarterback is that neck. We just don't know, and August is a heck of a long time, and it's a big gamble to wait to see if he can play or not.
Mr. Bad Dog, last thing was finding, yes, older guys need some rest. What's going on, Mr. Bad Dog? I was going to tell you, Mr. Bad Dog, if you're at home and you have a few minutes, I would pop in the link and if you want to come on and talk to the Dahmer, because you know what? Everyone wants to talk to the Dahmer.
And I'd like to hear your British accent again. I've been practicing mine. I'm still not there, but you could give me tips.
I want to see you do his Italian accent.
God, no. God, no. By the way, thank you very much, by the way, for what you said last night, Bad Dog. I massively appreciate it.
What did he say?
You told me what he said. He said that you do a show with me, and he didn't criticize me, so I'm taking that as a win.
You're taking that as a win. I didn't say what he said off the air.
Oh, I'm just let me have my moment. Let me have my moment.
You could string that many 4-letter words together. I didn't think that was possible. Super chat coming in from the Zack Attack. Oh my God. Bengals are in the AFC Championship game with a good quarterback and a bad offensive line. You're right. With a terrible one. A terrible one.
There's a difference in quality between Burrow and Jones.
It's you know, it's one of those things. It's just but what I think they're ranked 29th or something, and we're ranked 32nd or 31st. I mean, it's a bad argument. I mean, and I know Zach is actually just pointing that out, but it's just one of those things. We got to do something for Nikki here. Nikki's asked for it, so you know what? We never disappoint.
He's a king.
We do disappoint.
We do disappoint.
We do disappoint. I am very disappointing. All right, everyone, this is for Nikki. Why don't you come on down to Poppycockers, the best in London adult entertainment on the West End. If you want your poppycock, you come down to Poppycockers. Tom has got 2-for-1 elf nights. All elves, goblins, and all other hobbits that come in for that will have the opportunity to get 2 lap dances for free at Poppycockers. There you go.
It's elf night. Come on, man.
What? Isn't Poppycockers in a tree?
Is it 2-for-1 night for hobbits? Because if they stand up on top of each other, they're about the height of a normal person.
I got no freaking clue.
I know you haven't. I'm being geeky, and the answer is not.
I know you're being geeky. That's why I got no clue. Carlos Alvaro was requesting, and I got this one.
King of the Almost Sack.
You gotta have King of the Almost Sack in there. This year's draft is coming you through Poppycockers. It's the place to get your poppycock.
Is it like when impressionists go on talk shows and the talk show goes, do this one. It's like, I'm gonna make you a puppet master, and you're just pressing the buttons.
That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing on this show. I can make a case for the Riddler. He's as good a prospect as Herbert was.
And that's not quite fair.
Not quite, and I don't want to ban you. King Tone says, "What's up? What's up, King Tone? What's up? What's going on?" Jeffrey, I would like get your poppycocked. I know this just comes to me. this comes to me. Doesn't hurt that I hung out a lot of strip clubs. In all seriousness,
None of them were as good as poppycockers.
in all
Because
seriousness,
when it's
my
in your mind, it can be as good as you want it to be.
my friend in Florida was his family was actually the I would say the king of adult entertainment in Florida. So you hear some of this stuff on stage and stuff, and that's why I get my poppycocker voice. So I can't attest to that. I can attest to that. He is underrated, just like a lot of quarterbacks in this draft. He's underrated, but I don't think the duck was underrated.
Well, unfortunately, he was by me.
Oh, here we go. What do we got here? We say, good afternoon, gentlemen. Timmy and the Duke of Funk. Everyone likes poppycockers. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing good and staying safe. Where do I sign up for poppycockers? It's funny. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this right now.
Just tell me what you messaged me the other day.
I'm going to say this. Yes, I have actually trademarked the term poppycockers. So when we hit 10,000, everyone will be able to go on this website and buy the paraphernalia from the strip club that I made up in my mind.
I woke up.
Ways you actually will go into my mind. And
I woke up the other morning to find a message from Tim to say, is poppycockers one word or two? Serious question. And I then had to wait 6 hours for Tim to be awake so that I didn't wake him up with a message and get crucified by Mrs. Online Big Blue to respond to this message. I was like, where the hell is this coming from? Why is he messaging me this? 6 hours I had to wait.
Only 6 hours. Yeah, normally you just text me at 3 o'clock in the morning.
So. No. I did that once. You shouted at me on behalf of Mr. Online Big Blue. The other day when it happened, I messaged you instantly while we were still awake, and it took hours to come through. Also, elves, hobbits, trolls, dwarves, and trolls. Is that our new offensive line next year if we don't fix it?
I hope so.
It's just elf, hobbits, gates, dwarfs, and troll.
So does anyone else think that Martinez is getting cut? I think Martinez might get cut.
There's a chance. There is a chance.
It depends on the injury. I mean, how bad it is, the severity. It's not like he is. I don't know. I think he would get cut. I personally wouldn't cut him right now because of the fact that I think you still have a big hole at linebacker.
You'd have to get a fix there, but you'd save $8.5 million.
Yeah. Did you Google that?
I had it ready. See?
Can we get a second round pick for Saquon?
Possibly.
I think
but
you might have be able
to come back and play first and see how he holds up.
I think you may. I think you might find a team that is in a championship aspirations that will turn around and try to find a quality running back. So I do, and I think to Dom's point, you have to rebuild up his value. But I could see a team before the trade deadline looking for a top flight running back, and if he's playing well, I think you could get a second round pick for Saquon.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the teams that went through running back injuries this year, and you're getting towards it, and they think they've got a chance in the playoffs. Then I can see it. And I think there were signs of Saquon coming back towards his best towards the end of the season as well.
I'm going to do this, and this always makes me cringe. It doesn't make me cringe. I'm posting the link in the link, the thing in the link.
Smooth.
I posted if you want to jump on and talk about poppycockers or the Giants, you are more than welcome to. There we go. Would you take Willis at 5? What you talking about, Willis? If he is truly the Giants guy and you're worried about Carolina or someone dropping and taking him at 6, and you really think that you are building your franchise around Malik Willis, yes, I would take him at 5. Because I have a feeling in this draft that somebody is going to try to take the opportunity to reach up and get him. That's just kind of my thought, Dom.
I mean, I wouldn't, but like you say, if you think he is the guy, right, you take your quarterback, whoever he is, wherever he is, and if that means you have to reach, you do it. I said it a few weeks ago. I understood the Daniel Jones pick at 6. I didn't like it. I understood it. Gettleman thought Jones was the next quarterback for this franchise. He thought someone was going to take him at 7 or 8. He took him at 6. And he did. If that's what he thought, he did the right thing. Now, history has proven him wrong, but I understand it, in particular the quarterback. So I'm not against it. It just wouldn't be what I would do.
All right, that's right. Let's see here. I got people trying to jump online here. Let's take a quick. I got a couple of the ones I want to grab real quick. Mike Glenn says we need a run-stopping defensive tackle. We had one.
I thought that was Mike Glennon. Then I was
Mike Glennon.
getting rubbish.
Mike Glenn, not Glennon.
Yeah. Sorry, Mike Glenn.
I
didn't want. I shouldn't compare you to our erstwhile backup quarterback.
Yeah, our backup quarterback. Plus Mike Glenn here. He's a handsome looking guy.
He is a handsome looking.
I like the shirt and tie combination. I had to. I'm old, people, so I'm leaning in and looking at the monitor. So shut up. Shut up. Don't judge me. Judge Dom. Oh, that's all I got to say about that. Hey, Wolfie. All right, I'm going to bring in T-Brad because I have and I got Maris Carpenter coming down here. I haven't talked to
Maris is back.
Yeah, T-Brad. I've communicated with multiple times via chat, and he's always in the messages. So we're going to bring in the T-Brad.
Oh man, I'm happy to be here. What's going on, guys?
Not much, man. You have been a good supporter. I always enjoy reading your comments and your and when you're in the chat. So, and I saw T-Brad pop up and said,
and he's got a better beard than me as well.
That's not saying much.
I'm very happy to be here. I've been trying to promote my book, Waiting on Willis. I'm going to do a book signing at Poppy Cockers. I'm looking to do that on April 28th. So depending on what happens with the draft, it'll be Waiting on Willis, a love story, or Waiting on Willis, Jilted at the Altar. So
I was going to say it might be Jilted at the Altar.
It's either one, man. The way I look at the Giants and where we are, brothers, I would like to be in the same position as the Chargers were some years back when they had to make a decision between Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers. Right. Two great quarterbacks, and it's like, well, we can only have one. So if we miss with Malik Willis, we got great quarterbacks coming out next year. We just can't sit with Daniel Jones, especially with a neck injury, and not bring in anybody. We don't have any money. I mean, Trubisky's worth a shot, but what are we planning on doing? Getting all these pieces to not have a quarterback lead them?
What, you don't want Jake Fromm?
That's going to be a no. That's going to be a hard hell no.
It's going to be a hard hell no.
Put all my chips in on no.
No. So are you with Malik Willis? No, you shut up, Dom. I got to ask a question. No, I don't want to talk to you, Dom.
You're not putting your chips on Fromm.
All right, Dom, you got to sit there and time out for a second there. T-Brad, are you on the Malik Willis Express?
Yes. I like Kenny Pickett. Don't get me wrong, but talking to you back and forth, I'm a grown man. I can be swayed sometimes to something that looks good, and I was like, you know what? Why not get the next Michael Vick? Why not get a quarterback who can make plays with his legs and manipulate the defense a little bit? Because after a while, those cornerbacks and those linebackers, they start getting tired of getting beat. They're playing great coverage and getting beat with the quarterback's leg. Let's do it. Let's go for it. Different
now, as a big Giant fan, are you okay with him sitting a year? Because I personally think that Malik is going to have to at least sit for at least 10 games, if not more.
With the status of the Giants right now, it's not like we're a quarterback away. So why send him in there to start getting, hammered? That's Daniel Jones' job. Go out in a blaze of glory, Daniel Jones. You're already fighting for your job anyway. You've been dealing with the BS offensive line. We're not going to put our new commodity in there. You get a new car, you put the new car in a driveway, in a garage and keep it safe. Put the old one out in a driveway.
Right. So, exactly. I just worry that some Giant fans have the because like I said, everyone knows I'm high on Malik Willis, and I just think some people have the misconception that I think that we should just throw the kid out there and just let the league beat the crap out of him. And like I said, my thought process is do a Mahomes sat a year, do the same thing. Let him learn the game, let him see the speed in the game, get him in at times, and then maybe the last couple of games of the season start him, because we're probably out of contention. So, and kind of go from there. Now, the big question is, if we cannot get Malik Willis, if he's not available, what do you think our quarterback? Yeah, I know. What do you think the quarterback situation is going to be?
To be honest, they may go Kenny Pickett. They may, because we're going on what we like, and we don't know what they like.
Right. Exactly.
And again, we've all heard the same thing. If you like your quarterback, if that's your guy, you go get him. So maybe they go get Kenny Pickett and, trade that other pick down. Or maybe they don't go quarterback at all. Maybe they say, hey, we're going to go and build up the offensive line, defensive line, get the best player available. If we're not going to go quarterback the first first round, I definitely don't believe in keeping the 5 and the 7. Move one of them if we're not going quarterback.
Right. I think we got to move. I think personally we'll move the 7. And I think Dom and I were in agreement with this. Now, Dom, you could ask your question now. Go ahead.
Oh, moment's gone. I was going to say, when you, with your chips for for Jake Fromm, why don't you take this bet with him? He can be the backup quarterback for us next year if you put the chips 10 yards away from him and ask him to throw the ball past them. Because if he can't do it, because the guy can throw about 6 yards, right?
You might be giving him too much credit. I mean, whenever we need to be.
Wait a minute. I waited all time. I waited for that. That's what Dom. That's what I waited for.
That's what Dom said. Dom said the moment.
Brad is nice. That's what I waited for. Sorry.
I told you it was in the moment. I've got a second question.
All right. What'd you say?
I was going to say. So my other question going the other way would be, what would you do with you? You're talking about trading down your second pick if you take your quarterback. Where would you be looking to go to help that new quarterback, even if you sit him?
If we got a quarterback and traded,
yeah. Let's say you took Willis. Let's say you took Willis. What are you doing with your other first rounder?
Oh, if we get Malik Willis, I want the best offensive lineman available right then and there. I don't want to trade back if we get Malik Willis, because when you get, in my philosophy, if you get a quarterback, it's just like getting a new car. You get everything you can to protect it. You get offensive weapons. For me, I love Traylon Burks, but we're not going to do that type of move. No. And one day when you guys have time, I can go on my wide receiver rant, because we got 3 wide receivers who can't play 10 games. It's time to start looking for that in the future, but not this draft.
I'm assuming you're not including Jonathan Ross in that either, right? In those 3.
Hey, Ross played more games than I thought he would.
Yeah, but we thought he'd make 1. So
yeah. Oh, we gotta get on a super chat to Big Don here. Big Dom is Don. I'm sorry, he's actually been everyone knows that the tickets for the Malik Willis Express are $5, and Big Don has been purchasing the big Malik Willis Express tickets for Dom. Don, that's Malik for Willis. You. Jumping on the Malik Willis Express, because you know what, you're either gonna be on it or you're gonna be under it, because we're gonna steamroll the NFL with this guy.
I like him and Saquon. I think Malik Willis, obviously, you don't want him playing next year, but if you can imagine Malik Willis and Saquon Barkley in the same backfield, a good offensive mind, hey, that tears some things up.
It would be interesting. So T-Brad, you've like I said, you've supported the show. I got a bunch of people in the queue, so I want to make sure. Do you have any question that you want to ask either myself or the Dom or both of us? Any Giant related question, or just how wonderful I am?
Hey man, I just enjoy the show, man. I have a great time. It really feels like you're just talking to a bunch of guys that all like the Giants, and talk a little smack and have a little fun. I'm playing my video game, so yeah, I don't really got nothing too crazy going on. I'm just curious about who's our coach going to be, and I hope Malik Willis doesn't light it up too much at the Senior Bowl, because that's where the buzz starts.
That's where it's. What are you playing?
Huh? What are you playing? 2K22 on the Xbox.
2K22. There you go.
He's living a dream right now, right?
Like any other 48-year-old.
Hey, listen, I got all the. I got all the game systems. But I always say it's for my son. So that's what you get. That's what I always go with.
I won't lie. I'm buzzing after the show, and I go down, and my wife thinks I go straight to bed afterwards. I don't. I go downstairs and I play on my console for half an hour, 45 minutes before I go to bed.
Hey, I tell you what. On 2K2, the Lakers are pretty good when I control them.
When you control, maybe you need to call up LeBron and give him some pointers.
Yeah.
All right.
When I play Madden, the New York Giants are worse than Judge because I'm not that great.
Yeah, terrible. But you guys have a good one, man.
All right, T-Brad, I appreciate you dropping in on there. Thanks again, and thanks for supporting the show, man. I always appreciate it.
All right, guys. Have a great one.
You too.
Tim, before you bring someone else on, can I just circle back to a question that Zach asked earlier? Because I think it's a good one. So Zach asked earlier about Brian Flores. Do I think he's under the Rooney Rule, or do I think he's a serious candidate? I think if you bring Brian Flores in with his resume, he's a serious candidate.
Maris Carpenter just dropped off because he heard you talking.
Yeah, sorry, man. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to address that question, but I don't think you're hiring Flores. You're interviewing Flores just from the Rooney Rule. I really don't.
No, I don't think you're going to. I mean, I really don't think you are. T-Brad, you got to drop off your camera there, my friend, because we can still see you. There you go. Maris Carpenter, I'm sorry about that. Whenever you're ready to come back on, we're ready to come back on. Wait a minute, this is a good question right here. Did the Giants have a Joe Schoen press conference? No, his press conference is Thursday, I believe. I think it's Thursday at 12:30.
Yeah, I thought it was tomorrow actually, but I'll just double check that.
What's today?
Today's Tuesday. I think it's Wednesday at 12:45. I thought I saw earlier, but I could be wrong. I'll just check in now.
You guys look like Jason Bateman, Elijah Wood, and Mr. T.
11:45 Wednesday. I was right. Yeah.
Isn't Elijah Wood one of the trolls?
Oh god, I'm going to be accused of being geeky, but he's Frodo. I know the answer, so I'm going to go. It's 11:45. The presser tomorrow.
The 11:45. So there is a press conference tomorrow at 11:45. All right, what else we got over here? They sat because they were actual quarterbacks ahead of them to show them the ropes. Who's Malik Willis going to learn from DJ? No, he's going to learn from Mitchell Trubisky. We're bringing Eli back. I told you, Eli Manning's hermetically sealed in a place in MetLife. There's a little hammer next to him. That's a clone that you see on TV. And it's in case of emergency, break glass. That's what we're doing.
Oh, can we get a few other Giants legends back? Can we just break all the glasses?
Yeah, I know. I agree. I agree. Of course, agree. Greg Willis at 5. You get the best tackle at 7. You know what? If I'm going Malik Willis at 5, and you may be able to get him at 7, you don't know. But if I'm going Malik Willis at 5, I'm probably am going to skip the idea of going defense, and I will go with a tackle with the 7th pick. I would then do that.
Do you still trade it back? I agree. If you're taking a quarterback, you definitely want to go.
I would try. If I'm taking Malik Willis at 5, I am not trading back 7.
I think you just got to find a way to make the cap work, right?
Yeah.
If you do that,
that's what you're going to do. Because like I said, it's going to be bad either way.
There are a few other tackles that might fall, but it depends on what's happened beforehand.
It depends on what happens. That's the thing. If you need to be protected to be good, you're not good. Oh, I like that.
I think that there's some truth in that, but I think there are some quarterbacks that need a bit of protection. I mean, Brady, he's 306, but he needs a bit of protection. Now, he can feel the presence coming and will throw it away, but he can't move at his age as well as he does. So he does need a bit of a line, and no one's calling him bad. But the premise, I think, is right.
So wait,
Joe Burrow is elite because he can play behind a broken line, right? He's really good.
But what did you say? What did they need?
An O-line to protect Brady. Something like that.
They need something else. You were supposed to. Oh, Dom, you just killed it. You just killed the bit.
I killed the moment.
You were supposed to say.
That's what she said.
That's right. You were supposed to say he needed protection.
That's what I'm sorry.
Oh, Dom.
Oh,
anyone else want to be a co-host? Anyone else out there in Giant Land? Oh my God.
Oh, Dimmy. Maybe if you need protection, you could get a co-host called Johnny.
See, the good news is your wife is sick, so I'm being nice to you today.
She is sick.
I know. I'm being nice to you today.
I know. Well, yeah. Nicer. Let's go with nicer.
The coaching needs to get better in the play calling. Well, yeah, but we don't know who the coach is going to be yet. I think that's going to be the. I think that's going to be the big question.
Will be better. I think it might.
It can't be worse. Well, no, don't say it could be like Lakers will make the finals this year. I don't know about that. If anyone don't know, go watch my Nick video. I did a Nick video today. Go watch a Nick video. I did. Where is this? I wish I had to switch so I could play Pokemon. Oh my God. And what is this going? I thought this was spam for a minute. Herbert passing 68.73, blah, blah, blah. Because I was ready to ban somebody. I thought it was spam. The Riddler. You know what the thing is? And I like when people, and I'm not making fun of you. I like when people compare college stats to players. Their college stats were this. Well, the problem is they're not in college anymore. It doesn't matter what your college stats were. You were in the pros. And I did the video yesterday. If you looked at Michael Vick's college stats, it wasn't that impressive. What was more impressive, and I've said it before, Vick was a player of moments. He had these big moments on big stages and made these big plays that no one had ever seen again or before. But it's what's called. It's I never compare stats in college. If Joe Schoen talks about culture, I will immediately turn me on. If he talks about culture, I quit.
I think culture is important. What it can't be is the only thing you think you're bringing. There has to be something that comes out of that culture that is tangible that you can see.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And T Brad says, of course, because he goes, I pity the fool. Well, T Brad, I don't want to say anything, but I think they were talking about I look like Mr. T. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, you're definitely Mr. T. 100%.
Hey, listen, I love the day I called you the Duke of Funk, and I made you Google who George Clinton was.
You sent me a picture.
I sent you a picture of George Clinton. I knighted Dom with the phrase Duke of Funk. And so he didn't know who the Duke of Funk was. So I said, well, you look just like him. So I sent him a picture of George Clinton, who is, of course, the Duke of Funk.
Do you know what my wife said when she saw the picture you sent me? She went, but you can't play the piano. It's like, that's what you took from that picture.
Oh, that's what you get out of that. That's what you get. I do love Malik. I'm just comparing Riddler to her, but the show he is underrated. Riddler has great skill sets too. Like I said, but I can't compare college. I can't. If you want to talk to me, if you want us look in 3 years and compare college, pro stats, then I would. I'd rather sit Will Spokane, Bridgewater, Jimmy G. Those guys are more experienced veterans.
I'm
What do
not
you
sure
think?
where you get the cap. I'm not sure where you get the cap from bringing Bridgewater. It must be 15, 20. I think you would be asking and commanding for Jimmy G. Likewise, if not more. I mean, at least with Willis, a bit with Lance this year. If you bring in Jimmy G, you can't rely on his health, but he has done phenomenally well in the 49ers this year, unquestionably. At least with Willis, you think, well, okay, he can come and spot him for a few games because Jimmy will get hurt. But I just don't see how we can afford them on the cap.
Here's the big question about Jimmy G. What if he wins the Super Bowl?
It's a big question that Shanahan and co are going to have to answer,
Are
right?
the 49ers going to move? There's only been really one quarterback in the modern era who won a Super Bowl and got moved and got cut the next year before even the next season. You know who that was?
No, I don't. And do you think he'd get cut? I don't see that.
I don't know, but Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens, and he got cut in the offseason. Maris Carpenter's coming back here, Mara. We got a couple more questions, and we're going to bring in Maris Carpenter. Thank you for dropping back in, Mara. On
Jimmy G, he would have been a Super Bowl runner-up and a Super Bowl winner if he goes and does it this year with the 49ers.
That's true. What does Don have? Don has to say Matt Ryan was the 14 touchdowns and 14 touchdowns and 14 receptions in senior and was a first-round pick. Give me Willis. Because you are on the Malik Willis Express. Don is going to be my semiconductor. Got it. It's kind of like a play on words, and there's like two types of things. You could be like the semiconductor. I know. I'm way ahead of my time. Maris Carpenter, save us all.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Save us all because this is rocking.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, my friend?
Nothing. Just waiting to hear what the Giants do with the coach now. So
I think everyone's waiting. What do you think they're going to do? What's the Carpenter's prediction?
Well, from what I've heard, because there's been like it's kind of conflicting because there's like a few Twitter accounts who like accurately predicted some of the stuff that the Giants have said, and some of them have said Dabble, but like there's another guy who's now coming back and saying no, it's not Dabble, it's Flores or Quinn. So I really don't know what's going on right now. Like last night, I would have told you Dabble, but like right now, I really don't know what's going on.
Well, it's that. What's his name? It's not Dabble. What is it? How's it pronounced?
Dable.
Dable.
Oh, Dable. Okay.
Dable.
Yeah.
Another
person, the GM can't do his name properly.
Well, you got Shone that doesn't know how to spell Shane, or Shane that doesn't know how to spell Shone. You got Dable who's looking like I don't know what the hell he's.
But who do you want, Maris?
It was for me. It was either Flores or Dable. I don't know. I don't really get too much into like the GM or head coach because I think other people have mentioned it before. You just don't know. You really don't know who's. So I mean, my thing is like I'm on Twitter and like people get overly excited about it, and I'm like, okay, guys, we don't know. Remember, we got excited 2 years ago with Joe Judge. Like,
well, not all of us.
Yeah, not all of us. Not all of us.
You can probably have more of you can see more what a head coach might or might not do given their sort of track record, because you can see
that is true.
The offense that they're building or the defense that they're building if they've not been a head coach. But what you don't know, and you're quite right to point out, is what the GM is thinking.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. I have one thing. Speaking about Joe Judge, I got one thing to say to all the people that blasted me. Who's the a-hole now? Okay, who is it now? Not me. 2 years later, took me 2 years to wait for that. 300.
That's actually a funny story too, because I started following Tim's channel back in 2019 because I saw a video about him blasting Daniel Jones, and I was like, this guy's a hater. Like I was on the Daniel Jones train before. So I was like, this guy's a hater. But then like over time, I think for me, like somewhere around like the middle to the end of last year, I had this sense. I was like, Daniel Jones isn't the guy. So that's why like the last year, I've literally just felt like we haven't been moving. When everyone said we're gonna win 9 to 10 games, I was like, no, we're not.
Right.
Look at the Vegas line; it's six wins. So I don't know where you guys are coming up with 9 to 10 wins.
And that's what I always say. You want a good, accurate prediction of your team. Look at the Vegas line.
Yeah, and then the thing is
your
too,
job.
talk to other people. I live in the DC area. Like if it before the season, like people were like, oh, the Giants, like they'll probably win like 5 games. Like that's what I'm saying. Like Giants fans, I think we have a problem where we sit and this never used to be the reality because before Giants fans were a little more critically thinking. I mean, I think like if you go back 10, 20 years ago, like most Giants fans were kind of like neutral towards things. They didn't get really overly excited.
Yeah.
But I think kind of the curse was those 2 Super Bowl runs we went on because of the unpredictability of it. And since then, like everyone's just kind of had this feeling that, oh, we can just get this guy and he reminds us of Eli and we can go on a magical run and win another Super Bowl. But I'm like, no, it's not how it works.
Yeah, but and that's the problem. I mean, people think it's that easy. It's that, and I've said this before, and like I said, I don't know how old you are, but I said a lot of fans, and actually Bad Dog and I were talking about it last night. A lot of fans who are younger only know the 15, 16 years of Eli Manning.
That is actually, I'm in there, but for me though, like I think what started happening was after like that first, because it's been so long, like when we won in 2011, I was like in high school, and now I'm like almost 30. So like that's how long it's been. So like when people get overly excited, I'm like, man, it's been a long time. Like maybe we should fix the issues on this team. Like I don't understand how people can just ignore blatant issues at the core of it. And then I think one really, really big thing that started to happen, I guess, over this year or two is Giants fans started to look and be more objective because a lot of things we were talking about last year, like I think we could really see it on display this weekend. This Chiefs versus Bills game, that's the future of the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, do you really think? And a lot of people last year were saying, "Oh, well, Daniel Jones could become Tannehill." Did anyone see what Tannehill did this weekend? Like that's the days of like a Daniel Jones, a Jimmy G. Well, I mean, Jimmy G might win a Super Bowl because his team is like amazing.
You got that the running game, the offensive line, and the defense.
That's what I mean. And first of all, people that were comparing the 2007 Giants to the 49ers, that's disrespectful. If you looked at Eli Manning during those series, he made big throws in the Tampa game, in the Cowboys game, in the Packers game. That's not Jimmy G. Jimmy G has made a few passes, but they've won in spite of him most of the time.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eli made when the chips were down, Eli would come up.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is too, like in those games that he played, Eli went par to par with those quarterbacks. Even in that 2007 run, the 2011 run, he was insane. Like that was he had a legitimate argument for an MVP season in 2011.
He did. He really did. Mike Glenn says, and I love this because I was run off Facebook group last year for saying drafting Jones was a mistake and Judge wasn't a good coach. I mean, I understand that. Like I said, they try to run me off YouTube.
I think Jeffrey Abbey should pick the next quarterback because he was on.
Listen, Jeffrey Abbey and PTA Sports is in the room here. He's another YouTuber. PTA, if you want to jump on, I just put a shot. What did I put down? What is that called? A link. I put a link in the
link.
If you want to jump on and say hello and promote your channel a little bit. But Maris Carpenter, let me ask you this. This is the big question of the day. Mm-hmm. This is it. This is the question. This is the one that everyone needs to know and everyone needs to hear. You are in your 30s or you're 30 now, and like I said, you are in the Eli Manning era. You finally figured out that I am awesome, which is everyone already knew this, but it took you a while to figure it out. So but what are we going to do with? And we don't know what's going on with Jones, but what are we going to do with the quarterback situation? I mean, what's
For me, I've gotten to the point where I like Howell and I like Willis. Like, I don't understand why a lot of people don't like Howell. Like, I actually think he should be higher than Pickett and Corral. For me, the thing with Corral that doesn't really like Willis to me, I've seen a lot of raw ability where he can do things off platform where there's that wow factor. And to me, I said if you can get a good head, like I didn't like Willis at first when I thought Joe Judge was coming back, but now that there's an opportunity to get a more open-minded offensive coordinator, if we bring in Brian Flores, or if we get Brian Dable, I think he can really mold him into something. And it's the same way with I don't really see Howell as high a potential, but I would be fine if they decided to take him.
I've not seen a lot of Howell, but it does from what I've seen, his sort of pocket awareness seems a bit off, and he's a bit of a
That
pocket
is-
passer. Do
that
not
is an
do
issue.
not
That is a
fear a
little bit of an
Daniel
issue.
Jones 2.0.
That might be some. I mean, the one thing that I did like his ability to create some with his legs, and then he had a pretty strong arm. But you are right about the pocket presence. He kind of seems like he doesn't have that type of awareness. So you really would need a great offensive line all the time around him.
Lucky
And
we've
that's
got
kind
one.
of a red flag. Yeah, exactly.
We got a fantastic one. We should be great. No problem.
But I think also the alternative. So say you don't take a draft pick. For me, like I don't understand this idea of letting Daniel Jones play out a fourth year, because to me, I feel like the most important things, if we're gonna get a quarterback next year, you want to build up draft capital to move up for a quarterback. Then if you want to get your Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, or whoever is coming out next year that everyone's talking about. So to me, the best thing to do would be to trade Daniel Jones right now, try to get as much picks as you can. Even if you're going to cut some guys like Blake Martinez, bring in a cheap stopgap for this year and run it. Like I think it's best right now to cut off Jones and change everything now. Just move in to a new era and restart. If you're not going to take a quarterback, get a stopgap.
I don't think you can trade Jones until you know what his
You know what the
injury
injury is.
Oh, that is the other issue too. So my thing is, like, a lot of people are saying bring back Jones, and I'm like, can we get some clarity on the neck? Because if he's not going to be cleared till August, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
I've heard
I don't
online.
think anybody knows.
Yeah, on Twitter, people are saying late August, early September. I'm like, so he's not going to have a training camp? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
I love this comment by PTA Sports. I will try to jump on after I'm done shoving food in my face. Here you go, brother. Here, watch. We can do both. It's all good.
Isn't it that thing that people just like listening to people eat because it's soothing? Or something?
ASMR. I learned about this. I learned about this in YouTube camp.
I do have a question for you guys, though.
Sure.
So, did you guys saw the game this weekend, right? Chiefs and Bills.
Oh, what a game!
So, what would you have done if you were the defensive coordinator with when so 17 seconds, you're the Bills head coach, and you're kicking the ball off to Kansas City? What would you have done? Because I've heard people say squib kick. For me, I'm not so sure about it because I'm worried if it bounces out of bounds and you move the ball to the 40-yard line.
I'm not squib kicking.
Yeah, I wouldn't have squib kicked.
I had no problem with kickoff.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, but for the defensive side though, too, like I feel like they maybe dropped back too far and they allowed too much of the underneath. Because one thing about Mahomes this year, he's grown as a passer. Before he would just try to gun it downfield, but now he's taken a lot more checkdowns. And that really helped them on that last final drive, because on the first play, Tyreek Hill was able to eat up 15, 16 yards. Simple like that. The next play to Kelsey, they moved the ball down, kick the field goal.
Yeah. Well, the bigger question is, how the hell do the Pats come back and score 30 seconds left in the game, one timeout, and they let the Rams go all the way down the field range? How the hell do you? I mean, how the hell?
Yeah,
How the hell did the Pats get back in the divisional games?
I'm not the Pats. You know, Tampa Bay. That's it, Dom. Showing me up.
Yeah, that was they blitzed and it covered zero, and then just let Cooper Kupp run down the middle of the field.
Run down the middle of the field. So now, of course, everyone knows now that Maris Carpenter is now my co-host because Dom has gone into an extended timeout. Have you learned now, Dom? Have you learned now?
Yeah,
clearly not.
Have you learned not to question the king?
Right. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right.
No, he had to drop off. I would drop off too.
How dare you question Tim from Online Big Blue? It's going to be the new
How dare
guy.
you question? Leslie Frazier lost the game, shaking my head, 10 yards off the receiver, when all they need is a field goal to tie. I agree. That's why I don't want Leslie Frazier. I didn't like his run in Minnesota. I'm not a fan.
He's bang average in Minnesota, and he strikes me as he's a coordinator, and he's not a bad coordinator. I think he's got to take a lot of the blame for that yesterday. But I also think his defense was absolutely out on its feet. It was blowing chunks at that point. But yeah, I think he's a DC, not a HC. And we'll find out with Dable if we take him.
This is actually a great comment because I was going to bring this up. How the hell is Dable a choice? He sucked in Cleveland, not a lie. Andy Reid fired him again. What the F did he do in Miami? Nothing. Yeah.
The question marks over Dable are he was called out. I think you mentioned this on the video, but he was called out by McDermott.
December 7th by McDermott. He was also called out by his coach in college.
Yeah, and you also question now. Josh Allen has progressed under him, so you can take this two ways. He has a really good offense, as in a lot of good players around. I don't think they have bad running backs. It's not a terrible line. He has a very, very good quarterback. He's got players like Diggs, and I forget the other really good wide receivers they've got because I've mind blank. He's got some really good players, so that makes it easier. But also, how much of that of Allen's development is down to him? I don't know the answer to that. You'd like to think Schoen would know the answer to that. Shane, whatever.
Shane. Get it right, Dom. Shane.
Shane. Do you know that's the first time I got it wrong and all? But they are the questions that you have to ask. So I think that is a legitimate concern, and that's a big red flag for me over Dable. I'm not against hiring, but that is the big red flag.
Yeah, I'm not. My thing with Dable is this. This is my thing. I am still more enamored with Bieniemy and Flores. I mean, it has nothing to do with anything else beyond that. I'm more interested and like I said, to Mara's point, Mara's like, we're gonna do it differently. We're gonna do it this. Okay, well, you hired a rookie GM and now you're hiring a rookie coach again.
If you're bringing in a first-time head coach, at least one of your coordinators has to be a former head coach, at least one. Or you're saying, hey, we're giving it time for these guys to learn and develop.
But I don't want to go back into it. I don't want to go back into a Garrett situation where we have a babysitter who is hired to overlook our coach.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're doing that, that head coach has to genuinely be okay with it, as opposed to pretend to be okay with it.
Right.
And like you, Dable is not my pick. I'm not against it at all, but he's not my pick.
I am not against it. I'm not. But if you're asking me, I have to go with Flores.
Yep. Bieniemy also.
I don't think Bieniemy's going to get a job. Poor guys making the Super Bowl.
No. Exactly. But I think the good thing about Dable is you'd like to think he's going to have a relationship with Shane. And I think a head coach GM, good relationship. I said Shane, it's Shane. Don't screw with me. Is repeatedly. That lady washes her hair so often. But a good relationship between the two is really, really important. It's seamless. I can go from good point to smart to good point.
Oh, Dom is sitting there going, how many? My wife would really be sick. How many years have she had a headache? Oh my God! Don't worry, my sinus rhythm is normal. I was doing an EKG at the same time.
Well, there we go.
I'm multitasking.
At the moment, she's got a constant headache because she does have the COVID.
And she also lives with you.
I know. I've confined her to quarters.
I don't know if it's because she has the COVID.
I'm genuinely. I'm sleeping on the office floor at the moment.
Oh my God! Are you sleeping? Are you in the office?
Notice she's sick, and I'm still the one that's not allowed in the bedroom, and I'm sleeping on the floor.
I just want to know, how big is your tree? All these rooms.
We live in holes. Elves live in trees.
Oh, I can never tell.
Wood elves as opposed to high elves. So there is a difference. Would you like me to explain?
Yes, I'm gonna like you to explain. ECK drop.
No, you would like me to explain.
Hey, guys, I had some basketball. Hopefully you won. Hopefully it was a good game. We need a giant question here. I wonder who will take the Saints jobs, because I want a giant question, because this situation is almost as murky as the Giants job. The Saints, I think they had to have some idea or anticipation this was going to happen. In my mind, they had to figure this. I have a feeling they have a 1A and a 1B in their mind in reference to bringing in a coach. I don't know who it is.
There's talk of the coordinator stepping up, right?
Yeah, but my thing is this: if you're Brian Flores, or if you're Dable, I'm sorry, being an ass.
Are we dabbling in the market?
If you're dabbling with Dable, why wouldn't you want to go interview with the Saints job?
It's got to be one of the better head coaching gigs out there. Yeah. I mean, seriously.
No, I'm being serious. Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go look at that position? That role.
I haven't got their cap to hand, but it's better than last year. It's got to be, And
you got Jameis Winston.
I'm not against going with Winston. I'm not. I'd give him another good shot this year.
Besides Judge has been launched in orbit via the trebuchet. It will be hard to reach him.
I thought we'd put him at the bottom of an ocean. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
Zach. I think Zach is always shooting him out of a cannon into the East River.
If Daniel Jones is firing the cannon, it'll miss.
Oh my goodness. And we've said this before, Mike. I don't know if you probably weren't here earlier in the show. Peyton is still under contract till 2024. So even though he's retired, he still has to fulfill his contractual obligation. He's still basically a part of the Saints. He would have to be traded for. So you would have to give up an asset. And I guarantee the Saints aren't going to take anything less but a first rounder.
Yeah. I think you're probably right there. Yeah.
I mean, because you don't have him anyway, so you might as well throw out something ridiculous and say, like, I want 2 1s and a 6. Because he's not going to be your coach anyways.
Yeah, I was going to say, worst case scenario, you don't get him and no one gets Peyton.
Yeah.
But we discussed earlier, we think he takes a year off. And I think, to your point you made earlier, the Saints, even if he didn't say it to the Saints, he must have had an idea he was looking done. He was looking exhausted, and the time.
He looked like he was done.
Yeah.
You can compare the 49ers defense to the Giants defense. The defense from this year? No, you can't. No,
I think he's talking Super Bowl when we were comparing it earlier. The Super Bowl. Defense.
It depends on what Super Bowl. 2011, I would compare those to. I would compare it to 2011. 2007, I would not compare it to that. 2009, I would not compare it. 86, I would not compare it. I would compare it to the 2000 defense, but I wouldn't compare it to any of the big name defenses we had. And that in my mind is 2007, 90, and 86. What are you laughing about, Dom?
I'm not sure how to say his name, so apologies. But Ken Zappa. My bad. It was Gettleman that was launched via trebuchet into orbit. Judges at the bottom of the ocean. Hard to keep track these days.
It's hard to figure out where the bodies are buried. That's right. And I agree with you. I think Peyton's retiring for a year.
He's going to go to the TV studio. Why not? He's newly married as well, right?
Yeah. He's going to get a boatload of money from Fox.
Hopefully not the boat that Thingy was on, because that's cursed.
That's cursed. Oh, that boat's gone. Okay.
And if it's gone up in flames, it wasn't us.
It wasn't us. It was Dom.
Hey,
Dom, I already told you I'd rat your ass out. I don't mind going to prison, but I'm still going to rat your ass out.
Hey, how do you know I'm not turning state first?
Because you're not in the States.
True, which means I'm not in the jurisdiction.
You're not in the jurisdiction.
They'd have to extradite me.
You should have told me. See, this is your thing. I called Interpol, who then turned around and got to Scotland Yard.
You can see how we got to poppycockers. We've got an imagination.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait. Oh, everyone like the stream. Yeah, that's it. Everyone like the stream because I got to get to 10,000.
We're good at these promotion stuff.
I got to get to 10,000 because we want to sell poppycocker merchandise. If you're looking to get your poppycocked, come down to Poppycockers, the best in London adult entertainment that you can find on the West End. You can see the Dahmer. He's sitting there taking the money. That's all I got. I had nothing else on that one.
Do you know, for a little while I thought you'd actually just record it and we're pressing a button, and then I realized it does actually subtly change every time.
It does change. I got the music.
I know.
I got the music on a button now. But yeah, I got to make up different stuff every time, Dom.
I know. Do you know, we've moved around London quite a lot today. We started in the south. I think at one point we were in the east, and now we're back to the west, which is where we are because we are in Soho.
There's so many that you changed all around.
We've always been in Soho.
Oh, yeah.
Where I met Urban, we hit it off.
Oh, that's right. What would you give up for Peyton? This is a good question by Jeff. What would you give up for Peyton? If we were to make it, if the Giants said, you know what, Sean Payton's our guy, what would you give up for Sean Payton?
I mean, I think the asking price is going to be too high. Whatever. I don't.
You cannot say free VIP passes to Poppycockers.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're going to ask for too much. I'm not sure I give up a first for him. I think I go elsewhere and take my chances because I think there's a lot of potential good head coach out there. So I'm not sure I give up anything for Peyton.
I love that. Did Chuck Norris die? Did someone just say rest in peace, Chuck Norris? That can't be. I got to Google that now.
Oh, you can Google it this time. I'm not Googling that. Something might come up.
I got to Google that now. No, we didn't. I don't see anything about him dying. It's like, don't tell me Chuck Norris died. Nothing can kill Chuck Norris. Not even Chuck Norris can kill Chuck Norris.
Can you persuade Mrs. Online Big Blue?
To what?
But Chuck Norris is dead.
Yeah, I probably could. The Giants should bring back Ramsey Barton, Gerald Juergens, Sonoris Moss, and that will fix the offense. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. That is just so wrong. That's so wrong. It's not even right. 11 was wrong. I don't want to be right. That's how wrong that is. Oh my goodness gracious.
Can we bring back LT? That would massively help us.
Can we just take his DNA and then kind of take out the part where he's a crack addict? Can we kind of just take that part out a little bit?
Apart from that, we'd be all right.
But LT was in the 80s. That's why I always get mad at people when he's like, well, he was on crack and coke. And he was in the 80s. That's what everybody did. It was like a rule.
There weren't tests.
They weren't tests. Zach says he's in the Hackensack River, not the East River. All right. Thank you, Zach. I knew it.
On the plus side, there might be a role for Daniel Jones on the team after all if we manage to bring back LT, because he could provide LT's urine samples and switch them.
Peyton should just flat out retire. We sucked for years. Let 18-hour work days. You've done it all. We can do. Yeah, you know what? Peyton's he's gonna take a year off. He's gonna take a boatload of money. Killian Farrell.
He needs a year off as well. He looks exhausted.
Killian Farrell, my man. What's going on? Do you want to jump on? Do you have the capability or where you're at that you could jump on? I haven't seen Killian in a while. Here, I'm gonna put that in the stream. That's for you, my man. Killian,
can you do the next comment? It made me laugh. Below Killian's.
What's on this one right here? Okay. Not my wife goes not fall about the Chuck Norris. She goes, I'm not falling for that one.
I'm gonna get a Mrs. Online Big Blue dressing down after the show, aren't I?
You are. I'm actually going to call her.
Gonna get ticked off. Sorry,
call her.
She's ticked off, and I'm going to get a ticking off.
You are like, it's funny. She doesn't want to be on the air, and I've always told her I want to call her when I'm on a stream, and I want her to talk to Dom because I think it's the funniest conversation sometimes that I've ever heard between you two. And Dom getting his pep talk.
Yeah. She gives me a pep talk. When she gives me a pep talk, I up my game.
You up your game, and you need to up your game. Glennon could give Jones half of his neck.
That tickled me as soon as I saw that.
Oh my goodness! Hold on. There you go. That's for you. And this is for Dom being tickled.
That's what she said.
Oh my God. That's too funny. That was too funny. Sean was the OC with the Giants in 2005 and 2006. He also played for Bill He was also the OC with Bill Parcells. Yes, they shot him to the moon, Alice, to the moon. Here we go. Dom, I might need to be going to the UK this summer.
Great.
There you
go.
Enjoy.
Enjoy. Bring a raincoat.
Bring a raincoat. I feel so bad, Tim. I'm literally in bed and saw you guys go live. Got an early night because I got exams in the morning, bro. Sorry, a couple weeks later. That's no excuse.
Right? No, come on, man. Good luck for your exams tomorrow.
That's no excuse. That's like.
Hang on, wait. It's like 6:30.
Oh, so what?
5:30. I mean,
I was up till midnight with the bad dog, and then I got up early.
Hang on, wait. No, how early are you going to bed? It's like 5:30 your time or something.
No, yesterday, dumbass.
Oh. No, I know you. I meant Killian.
What time is it?
He says he's got an early night.
He's in Ireland. What time is it?
Oh, well, that's all right then. Yeah, it's late. Yeah, you.
What time?
Good luck for your exam tomorrow.
What time is it in Ireland?
Same time as here, I'd have thought. Maybe 1 hour early, but I think it's the same time as here.
Well, why don't you freaking Google it?
No, it's 20 to 11. It's 20 to 11. Killian, I'm sorry, my man. I didn't realize you're in Ireland. Good luck for tomorrow.
Yeah, Killian, we know you're in Ireland. That's what we're saying. I'm trying to say what time it is in Ireland. Fine, I'm not going to call you a quitter like Kerry Collins, who gave up drinking. That's just quitting in my mind. I'm not going to call you a quitter. I enjoy talking to Killian. I think you were on the time Killian was on the show.
Yes, yes, I think we were. Yeah, about a year and a half back. It was good. I remember now. Yeah, that was a really good chat. That.
Can you answer the question, you stuttering bastard? What the hell? Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, maybe.
It's because I was Googling something at the same time and I can't talk and type.
Chuck Norris.
No.
Killian, hope you do have I do hope you do well in your exams. Exams are more important. So at least like it twice, the video.
Yeah, but when you like it twice, it unlikes it.
Oh, it does. Oh, shit. You don't curse on my channel.
Is that for you only?
Yes. Dom, how old is the queen? Oh, I'm not, we can't ask that question.
665.
In dog years?
Well, dogs are apparently aged at 7 times the age of humans, and the queen is 95, so therefore it's 665.
Well, no.
So I can do math.
Well, first of all, dogs, the first year counts as year 1. They don't age 7 years until year 2.
Well,
So
in that case, I can
when
take
dogs
90
are 2, they're 8.
In that case, I can knock off 94 off that.
So she's 3,698.
No,
I don't have my abacus.
656.
Okay, thank you.
556. Sorry, 556.
Same as the UK. Okay, same as the UK. So it's the same time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. Do well on your test. Next
And
time
get
you
some
see a video, tell us how you did on the test.
Yeah, and Killian, seriously, I do remember now. I'm not googling at the same time. Really would like you to jump on. I enjoyed chatting with you. Like I say, 18 months ago ish.
Yeah. Dom, can you do a Yorkshire accent?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Well, my mum's actually from Yorkshire originally, funny enough. So yeah, I can. It's very northern. But you know what? The thing is, I was talking to my boss today. Hang on, I need to get in character. Give me a sec. I need to practice. I'm muting myself. Wait, come back. I'll do it. No, I can't do it because I'm thinking about it now. But I can't say one. One is Yorkshire, but it's actually the first number. But I can't say one in any other way apart from Northern. And also, when you're speaking in a Yorkshire accent, you don't have an S on the end. If it's plural, you drop the S. There you go. But I will slip into Yorkshire at some point. If I don't think about it, I can do it. There we are. That was boring, wasn't it? But I can do it. Tim's pretending to be frozen, and I know he's not because I'm not falling for it.
Little word of advice for people, a little tidbit, especially if you're in business. If you want to make people uncomfortable and just keep having babbling, just stare. Don't say anything. Just keep staring at them. Because
I was
on and on. How many
wins? I slip into Yorkshire as I kept talking because it can happen. There you go. It just happened then.
How many wins do you think the Giants will have next season?
Oh, hard to say at this point. But I would.
If you had to guess,
six at best, but probably somewhere in around this year's record.
Yeah, I'm saying 4. I'm saying 4. Dom, you're getting a little cheeky today. The old chap.
I believe Tim calls it sass.
Sassy. Dom does get sassy. What do we got here? Flores has 2
Chardonnay on the poll.
Chardonnay on the poll. Flores has 2 highly questionable, decent years with the Dolphins. Now he's considered an experienced head. I don't think he's a god. But what I think he is a coach that has worked in the NFL, has proven to be a winner, has shown that he can build a roster, because the first year he was in Miami, they traded away all of his talent.
He still won 4 games.
In the run, my wife goes, "Oh, Dom." She goes, "Oh, Dom." Oh,
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble.
You're in trouble. She goes, "Dom can't do a British accent." Oh my goodness. Yeah, but they traded all of his talent in the last 6-7 games of that year. They more than overachieved and overplayed.
Here you go. Here's his record: 24 wins, 25 losses. First year 5-11. Then it was 10-6, 9-8. And that first year, as you say, they traded everything.
They traded away everyone.
They were getting more than 2 wins that year.
Yeah, I never thought that. I mean, I thought it was such a thing that it was, that there was no way he was getting more than 2 wins. There is no such thing as. I agree with Zach. Because everyone's like, well, we have the 4th place schedule. Okay, you know what the funny thing is about that? 4th place teams and teams on that schedule may actually improve. How many? I remember when people were doing the Giants and they were doing their schedules.
That's what she said.
They were doing their schedules and people were like, well, this is a win. This is a guaranteed win. This is a win. This is this. And I kept saying to people, no, you can't go by that. Because all these games that you're saying are gimme games in April maybe look totally different in October. And they did. So I can never sit there and say, look at the schedule now and give any type of synopsis of what it's going to be.
But
we have a celebrity dropping on by. We have a celebrity coming in here, and he is another giant YouTuber. It's Mr. Pesty Analyst coming on in. So, my
what is going on? What is going on? How are y'all doing?
We are doing well.
Let me scooch on over and get in the middle of the shot. How's everybody doing?
We'll make it easier for you. We'll move down that way, and then we'll put you in the middle directly now.
Okay, so first and foremost, greatly appreciate you let me come here. I'm a big fan of yours. Been watching you for a very, very long time. Don't always agree with your takes, but I respect them.
But that's the thing about the show. I don't expect everyone to agree.
Yeah, don't always agree with what you say, but I respect your opinion. I respect what you bring to the table. So, A1 content first and foremost. So thank you very much for that. And then shout out to the chat. I was kind of just lurking, shoving food in my face. I literally just got home from my real life job, and my wife was like, you better stop and get food on the way because I'm not cooking. And I was like, not a problem, baby. So went, grabbed food, shoving my food, and I'm just kind of watching them. I'm listening to what you guys are talking about, and there's some very, very interesting stuff that's being said, and some very interesting stuff that's happening around the league right now. So yeah, I've got to buckle down and record some stuff because I got so much to talk about and not enough time to do it. But we're gonna get there.
We'll get to, and a lot of people don't understand that doing this takes time. Doing this, I mean, I'm not smart enough to have a real job or have a job, so that's why I get to do this daily. So I mean, it's a difficult. And I was talking about it with Bad Dog yesterday, and was like, it's difficult to either sync up or really sit down and make quality content. And I've watched some of your stuff. I haven't seen it recently.
Yeah.
And we were just on an Eagle stream together not too long ago.
Yes, we were.
And like I said, I usually enjoy, I don't like your point. I don't agree with what everyone says, but as with my channel, I don't expect everyone to agree with me because I think it makes for better content if we don't agree.
Right. I get a lot of flack on the Twitters because
do you really? I'm shocked.
Yeah,
that would never happen.
I get a lot of flack on the Twitters because I'm the type of person, first and foremost, I don't know what I'm talking about, y'all. Okay, like I always have to preface everything is I don't have the answers. I don't know, right? I played football for a long time. I coached football for a while, but I was never up at an NFL level, at a professional level, or even higher than like semi-pro, right? So I don't have all the answers, but I'm a guy, especially as a Giants fan, whoever's in the building, I'm rooting for them, right?
Right.
I don't care if people love that person, if people hate that person, if they're wearing our uniform or if they work in our front office, I'm rooting for them. I'm gonna believe in them, right? I did that with Gettleman. I did that with Shermer. I did it with McAdoo. I did it with Joe Judge. I'm gonna do it with Sean. I'm gonna do it with whoever he hires as a coach. Like if you're in the building, I'm rooting for you. I'm going to support you until I can't support you anymore. And I got a lot of flack for that because I supported Gettleman. I've supported Saquon. I kind of support Daniel Jones. I'm not a Daniel Jones guy, but I kind of support him.
I was going to say, you seem to be on the Daniel Jones fence now.
No. I always said that I was never on a Daniel Jones train.
Right.
I just follow behind that train from station to station to see where it ends up.
Right.
Because from the very beginning, I didn't like Daniel Jones as a prospect. I didn't like Daniel Jones coming out of college. I didn't like the fact that, we picked him where we picked him, although I'm sure somebody else would have probably picked him up if we would have traded down. So we probably wouldn't have got him. But I wanted Josh Allen that year, first and foremost. And, I just never really had a whole lot of faith in Daniel Jones. Now, after his rookie year, I said, this kid could have something. Let's see what he's got. I'm gonna give him a chance because this kid could have something. And I haven't really been impressed with Daniel Jones. I'm just gonna be completely honest. He's got flashes. He's done some good stuff, but I've never been super impressed with him. So I'm just following this train, and I when it comes to this roster right now, in my world, no one's safe. Okay, Andrew Thomas ain't going to go nowhere. Xavier McKinney's not going to go nowhere. Right, Azeez Ojulari's not going to go anywhere. So there are some people who are safe, but overall, there's no one safe on this roster. They can get rid of anybody. I don't care.
Well, there are a whole load of people, unfortunately, that are safe because we can't afford to get rid of them.
We're going to drop someone else in, guys. It's another celebrity. It's another giant YouTuber. It's another person that we want to build. That we're trying to get him back on and build up his channel. We want him to return to the giant fold.
What's going on, Pat?
Hey! Hey! Yes!
I knew he would like.
Stop! I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
I've never seen a reaction like that.
Where
before
the
in my
hell
life.
have you been, sir?
That's Saturday night in my house.
I've been lurking. I was on Tim's stream the other week, over the weekend.
Yeah.
And,
Yes.
me and Tim did agree for a little while, and I've been listening to Tim more and keeping an open mind, and I agree with him a lot more than I thought. So I appreciate him giving me another chance to come on. So.
Well, OGR, I missed you and I love you. So I'm happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you.
And Dom, how are you?
Yeah, good, man. How's yourself?
I have a real quick question for Dom. It's Arsenal related, if Tim will give me permission.
All right, I'm going to give you permission.
Wait, you've got a whole load of people that are celebrities on YouTube, and you pick me to ask the question of.
Yeah. Yeah.
go.
Feel honored, I guess. But anyways, Arsenal question.
Blimey.
Matt Turner is currently the goalkeeper for the New England Revolution.
Yeah.
I don't know if the transfer is finalized or not, but he may be going to Arsenal. How do you feel as Matt Turner as possibly being your shot stopper over at Arsenal?
Well, he's not coming as number one. He'll be coming as number two behind Ramsdale. I think this is a really good pickup as our number two, and we'll move our current number two on. So yeah, really happy. And Fabrizio Romano, respected journalist, is not saying it's a here you go yet, but is saying that this is in train and looks likely, assuming we move on our current number two.
Well, yeah. I think he's solid number two. The only problem with Matt Turner, he's not great with playing out of the back with his feet.
No, he's not, and that's the way we're looking to play. But I think we got our number two wants to go, and I think he's a good option, and probably it's limited.
Excellent shot stopper, though. Probably the best shot stopper for the United States national team.
So I think the feeling is that he can develop. So
is it Dom?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dom, where are you at, Dom?
I'm in southeast of England in the UK.
Okay, I kind of figured you were from England, right? I mean, like, you don't get many black guys that are English, but I mean, you're one of them, so that's cool, right? So
my inability to talk with a British accent probably makes it hard to place me.
Yeah, right. I was a little confused. I was like, man, maybe he's from Compton, right? But okay, I digress.
You've heard my attempt at a British accent. It does sound like I'm from the Bronx.
So let me ask you this. What's like the Giants fandom over there where you're at?
Not huge. I know no other UK Giants fans.
Really?
Yeah, not one.
That's weird.
It was hard to find a UK fan that was a Giant fan. That's I had to scour all the trees and all the rabbit holes and all the shires to find out.
Anybody could find him. Tim could find him.
Did you cross the English Channel?
I did it all.
49ers, Cowboys, New England Patriots. They tend to be the ones.
Okay, well the teams that are good and people that people talk about. Okay,
well, I mean they're the history ones that people know about. Do you know why I'm a Giants fan? Funny enough, my dad lived and worked in New York for many years, so I always followed New York sports teams. And I'm not basketball so much, but I do keep an eye on the baseball. Not no way an expert. You could talk to me and you could outdo me in 30 seconds with knowledge. But he lived and worked in New York for many years, and I've always followed New York sports teams. And that's how I started following the Giants.
Okay, that's okay. The only thing I know is football. I don't know. Don't ask me about any other sport. I can't tell you. I know football. That's all I know.
I don't know any sports. I just pretend.
I know. Mr. Dom knows football. Now, Mr. Jackson comes up with a super chat saying this is the most attractive cast of Giant YouTubers.
I mean, you guys are welcome.
Well, I get freshly shaved to come on. So.
I was got the Lex Luthor thing going on. I love it though. I've always liked that about it.
It was pretty attractive, but then OGR showed up and he put it over the top.
He pushed it over. He pushed it. I get so many. You know what's funny? I get so many DMs, OGR, and it cracks me up that this last since you've been on, and people are like, "Well, that's OGR, and this is this. How could you do this? How could you do this? How could you have him on?" And I kept getting them, and through Twitter, and I'm like, well. It must be a good thing to have him on because my Twitter game has just jumped up exponentially ever since we had you on.
Well, I'm a controversial character, and maybe I'm not the best way, but when I don't mind having trolls in my chat, I don't mind it at all. I mean, you got to have tough skin, but I'm not. I mean, maybe this is a low blow by me, but if you're gonna say something and be rude to me, I got no problem exposing you on a video.
Right.
Like if you're a fan, know, maybe it's not the best way to handle it, but you know what? I've done it in the past, and guess what? The troll went away. So,
Right.
I love me some OGR, man. I'm just sitting here basking in the glory.
In the glow.
Yeah,
I'm just jealous of your flat hat, to be honest.
I love me some OGR, man, and we've had some great times on my channel, and we weren't even always talking about football. We were just being a-holes and talking smack in the chat. It's great. It's great. I love it.
Oh my God. We got another super chat coming in there. It says DJ neck support Malik Willis. DJ needs neck support. Malik Willis is about to be the life support.
Actually, quick question. I have actually multiple questions. Tim, I want to ask questions, but I do have a question for Pest.
Sure.
How do you feel about Malik Willis out of Liberty?
I don't know. You know, I don't pay enough attention to college football. I mean, I know he's the flavor of the month. There's always one every single year. I don't necessarily know if this is the year to try to get a quarterback personally. I would really like for us to trade one of these picks down to get some draft capital for next year. And I know earlier y'all were talking about like Daniel Jones and not, giving him, more time. I would roll with Daniel Jones this year. Like, this is your last shot. I would not pick up his 5th-year option. I would just play him this last year. I would find some kind of a quality backup / starter in case Daniel Jones is just whack as hell this season. But I'd trade down, try to get some draft capital for next year. My goal would be to get a right tackle and an edge rusher, which I think we can do in this draft class. And give Daniel Jones a shot to go out there and make something happen. This is it. You're not going to get a 5th-year option. The best case scenario, you're a superstar and we sign you to a deal. The worst case scenario, you're going to hit free agency. Like, that's just what it is. That's what I would do. So, I mean,
that's very much where I'm at. I don't expect Daniel Jones to make it. I really don't. And I think you have to get in someone that is durable, because I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be able to start week one.
Oh yeah, and please understand that I don't think Daniel Jones is going to be good next year.
No, I got that.
But the reality is this, and I know we've seen teams turn it around really quickly, but we forget about some of the work that was put in to those teams before they did that quick turnaround. That quick turnaround does not happen as fast as a lot of us think it does, because we only see part of it. We don't see the whole thing, right? So the fact of the matter is this. The Giants ain't going to be good next season, right? They're not. Like, get it out of your head that the Giants are going to be this amazing team. They're not, okay? If we're lucky, we could sneak into the playoffs first year on some McAdoo type stuff. But I don't expect this team to be that good, right? So the best thing for us to do is start building around the empty quarterback position and putting a quarterback in there to go and take this team to the next level, okay? Like, that's what I think. I'm not happy with the fact that we got to keep Daniel Jones for another year, but we got him. He's cheap, so let's keep him for a year, see if he does anything of note. If he doesn't, then we get rid of him. I don't want him anyway. So
I'm with you. We can't fix everything this year. We can't. We too many holes, and we can't fix it all at once.
No. I mean, we have a giant news update. Actually, the Brian Dable has just completed his second interview a moment ago.
Yeah.
So that's and I think I kind of have an idea where OGR is and Dom is, but where are we all standing? And we'll go with Pest first. Where are we standing with who we would want for the coach? I mean, who is Pest the analyst? Front runner, your own front runner, not the Giants. Who you want to lead the reins for this team in the next 2 seasons? That's how long they last.
Here's the problem. I'm really stupid. Okay,
that's my job.
I'm really stupid.
I'll laugh. He says Sean Payton,
and I don't know. Although that's a very interesting development with Sean Payton. But yeah. See, it's weird, right? Because I like Wink Martindale first and foremost. I really like Wink Martindale. And from the rumors, we could potentially have him as a defensive coordinator. That'd be crazy. But I really like Wink Martindale.
You're a defensive lineman, so
I'm a defensive guy, so I'm biased. So yeah, Wink Martindale is a guy that I like. I kind of like Eric Bieniemy, but I don't know if I really like Eric Bieniemy or not. And then like Brian DeBoer seems cool, right? We saw what he was able to do this past weekend. That offense is crazy, right? Our offense is terrible. So we can bring in an offensive-minded guy to fix that side of the ball and figure out who's going to be the defensive coordinator. But yeah, like I said, I'm real stupid, y'all. So like I have my personal opinions on people that I like as coaches, but that doesn't mean that it's the answer.
Well, you know, and that's kind of a Dom answer. So it's an answer that kind of goes around. You got to give me an answer. You're on the spot. You are the GM. You are the man.
I gotta pick somebody.
You gotta pick somebody. You gotta put your stamp of approval on somebody. It doesn't have to be who the Giants want. It could be anyone out of left field. It could be Sean Payton. Who would Pesty analysts say, you know what? This is my guy. This is the guy I want the Giants to be led into in the future.
I'm taking Wink Martindale.
Okay. I
like Wink Martindale a lot. I like him a lot. That's my number one candidate is Wink. And that's who I wanted us to get when we hired Joe Judge. Was Wink. I wanted Wink Martindale or I wanted Bieniemy. Those were the two people that I wanted. So I'm sticking with that. I want Wink number one, Bieniemy number two.
All right, OGR.
Well, yeah, you already heard what we want. I mean, we're in agreement with Brian Flores.
Yeah, well, I know, but like I said, some people weren't here for the last stream.
Okay.
Some people are going to know your process.
Brian Flores is not bad either. I like Brian Flores as well. He would be like number 3. He'd be number 3.
You went from no one on the list to 3.
I like Wink Martindale. I love Wink Martindale.
Biases.
So what you're saying is Wink is the. I thought Wink would have been the guy 2 years ago. I really did. I thought that he would have been. If you're looking for a defensive-minded guy to come in who had the experience, he would be it. Mm-hmm. I know my opinion. If Brian comes in here, I'm going to support him because I don't hate the pick. Is there anyone out there right now that any of the three of you are saying to yourselves, no, I don't want the Giants to even touch this guy?
Jason Garrett.
Besides Jason Garrett.
Joe Judge.
Ben McAdoo.
That's it. You're all in timeout. You all got put in timeouts. That's a problem. You all got poppycocked. You all got thrown into timeout. You all got wonted. This is a serious show. Have you not seen this show?
Man,
I have an interesting question here.
Sure.
So obviously, we know that Brian Dable's the favorite, but why is he the favorite? Do you just believe it's simply ties to Joe Schoen? Because as a GM, when you accept the job, you're pitching a long-term plan.
Right.
Okay. So do you just, or could it be that Brian Dable right now, as a front runner, fits Brian Dable's plan? Because in a way, I see us tipping our hand a little bit. Now, a lot of people say, okay, they brought in, potentially bringing in Brian Dable because, okay, a lot of Giants fans, to get the most out of Daniel Jones. Or is it because, hey, Daniel Jones isn't my guy. Joe Schoen isn't really, doesn't feel a trust in any at all in Daniel Jones, and we are looking to draft a quarterback either this year or next. Because I feel this quarterback class is completely underrated.
I personally believe that Shane is going or is leaning towards Brian because of the fact that it's something familiar. It is they worked together twice, so they worked together, 2 organizations. I think he wants to give his guy a shot because I've said it a million times, especially in the NFL, you're the general manager, you want to win with your guys. You want to win with your guys, you want to lose with your guys. And I think in some ways it bothers me a little bit that he seems to be such the favorite. That and maybe like I said, maybe it's a smokescreen. Maybe Flores comes in and knocks it out of the park and we got a Brian Flores, which like I said, that's my choice. But I do think that in my mind, I don't know about what you think, Dom and Best, I don't know, but I just think he's familiar with the guy. He wants to win with his guys, and I'm a little leery with that because, like I said, Brian's been called out by Sean McDermott before, switching back on December 7th. He got called out by his college head coach, so it's not like he didn't have a great run in Cleveland. He's had some up and downs in his career, but like I said, sometimes it's the devil and I think that's kind of where Shane's thought process is. I don't know what your thought is on that, Dom.
Yeah, I think But Dable is a front runner. Look, he's got a good record in Buffalo, to be fair, or you discussed it earlier. So I think that does make him there. I think the main reason he's the first in through the door twice is because of his relationship. But there's also the fact that he is being talked about as a head coaching candidate in other franchise destinations, and therefore maybe they want to get in and go, is this our guy early doors? Because if he is, we want to nab him before he is. I'm concerned about that because we've done that before and it's not really worked well. We did it with Judge. We're like, oh God, he could go elsewhere. We need to get him when he's here. I think there are lots of candidates out there that are good enough for this job. And therefore, if that means that we lose a candidate, then okay, so be it. There's enough good candidates out there to replace him. So I'd be concerned about us rushing in. I'd rather we took our time. But that's why Dable is a number one sort of front runner at this moment in time.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And this has got to be my last answer because I gotta slide out and go take care of the wife. But when I look at the situation, right, they've worked together for a very long time. He's probably paid very close attention to the way that he interacts with his players and the way that he does business. So I would think it's a combination of the familiarity. He clearly likes what he sees from him on a day-to-day in regards to how he deals with his players, how he game plans, how he teaches, how he trains. Because again, he's had a bird's eye view of him this entire time. But I absolutely agree, with the point that maybe it is a smokescreen. Maybe it's another candidate, and they just don't want people thinking about that candidate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world for them to be like, yeah, we're going to tell everybody that
smart move in the second interview for sure.
Right? Yeah, like we're going to tell everybody that Brian DeBall is the guy, but he's not really the guy because this other guy is our guy under the radar. Like that could be a thing. So I don't know. I personally don't like the whole thought process of, I'm going to bring all my friends in for a job because that's what Joe Judge did. Basically, he brought all his friends.
Yeah, he brought failed college head coaches. I mean, hopefully we're bringing successful NFL coaches.
Yeah.
Hey, I like Coach Chaos, okay? Our defensive line didn't perform that bad.
I love Coach Chaos.
No, there was some guys on that team. But I do want to point out one thing, Dom, about Pest. Your wife has COVID, and you've been on for 2.5 hours. Pest is already going to go take care of his wife.
Yeah,
but I'm wondering if it's a euphemism.
And I have to get permission to come on the stream.
Well, so
see, come on, Dom.
So to answer Damian Jackson's question, both.
I did wonder if it was a euphemism.
Both. All right. I've been at work all day. I've been at work all day. It's time.
My wife has a headache and is asleep. She's tired.
Yeah.
And she washed her hair. And
oh my God,
my wife is sick. Like properly.
My wife teleworked today. I had to actually go into the office, so I haven't seen my wife all day. I shoved food in my face. I said, "Baby, I'm just gonna go upstairs real quick, talk about the Giants, and I'll be right back." So I'm gonna keep my promises because. And this is for anybody out there that's married, right? If you want to have a happy house,
happy wife,
keep that lady happy. Mm-hmm. You give her whatever she wants.
And so that and for those that don't know,
30 seconds, okay, my man.
For those that don't know, of course, this is Pest the Analyst, and if you don't already, go subscribe to his channel. Go find his channel. It'll be easy to find under Pest the Analyst. Not only does he talk football, he gives marriage advice. And if you don't go and subscribe to his channel right now, you're dead to me. So why don't you hurry up and jump over there and do that? Like I said, I really appreciate. Dom, shut up. I'm riffing here. I'm riffing. Do you need to go on timeout? If you don't know Pest, no, in all seriousness, if you don't know Pest, please go over, check out his channel, subscribe. Another great content creator. We got to build up the community, as everyone always tells me. So we definitely appreciate you even stopping by for a few minutes. Like I said, it's life.
I'll be back. I'll be back. Lots and lots. And y'all need to come over to my channel. I'm live on Wednesday nights around 8:30. It's always an open invite for anybody that wants to come and talk Giants. So hey, please come find me. I'm very easy to find on all social media platforms. Just search.
You still streaming on Twitch?
I do still stream on Twitch. So just search PTA Sports and you'll find me. I'm everywhere. And the best way to get at me is on Twitter. So if you find me on Twitter and you message me or you at me, I always respond. I'm super active on Twitter. So thank y'all. Nothing but love and respect to everybody in here. I appreciate the chat for all your comments. And some of y'all took jabs at me, and I love it. All right, I'm here for that. If you come over to my house, okay, all we're going to do is talk smack, but we're going to have a good time because we're family. So thank y'all so very much. I hope y'all all have a great night, and I'll get up with you guys later.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. No,
I'm going to ask him for marriage advice, Tim, because I've been married nearly 10 years and I'm cheap and I wanted to know how to fix it.
Well, the best part is your wife knows you're cheap. She's actually extolled that to me. So, all right, guys, we got like another 5 minutes here because I actually have to go cook dinner. Is anything OGR, you were gracious enough to stop in and say hello again. Is there anything that you would like to pontificate about?
Sure. We heard the ties that Brian Dable really likes Wink Martindale, so we might be getting to, a little bit of what I predicted the other day. So.
Yeah, you know what? I think I would love Wink to be the DC, the defense coordinator. I think that he would be, and it's not that I didn't like Patrick Graham because I just don't like the bend not break philosophy. I don't like go ahead.
Sorry, but maybe it's a bend not break, but is he doing that because of the personnel we have and the fact that we can't get to the quarterback? Because what would he be if he had more pieces?
Well, that's actually a good question. But the question is also, you went out and got him pieces. You went out and got him Adoree Jackson. We went out and tried to find him more assets that was going to make this a top 5 defense because his scheme the first year is what made us, within the top 15. And I always questioned the fact that, like I said it in the beginning of the season. He played a defensive substitution last year. His first year, and the league caught on. And that's why the bend not break was not working at times, and they couldn't get off the field on third down. I always thought they had to play defensive versatility, which means you keep the same 11 guys on the field, but you play them in different positions. Correct. Such as he was doing with Xavier. Like I said, if you take a look at Peppers played something like 67% of his snaps in the box that first season because he was like a quasi linebacker. And you had a bunch of guys that played almost 100% of the snaps between Logan Ryan, Blake Martinez, James Bradbury. They were always playing. So I felt if you continue that process, you can confuse the defense more if Ojulari's got his hand in the dirt, if he's rushing from the one side, if you got him coming from the middle. So I think the only thing I didn't like about Patrick Graham is I don't think he really changed his philosophy, even though we tried to give him Ojulari. We went out and got, like I said, Adoree Jackson. We were giving him more pieces, but I don't know if he actually implemented, because it's okay to go man to man. It's not a curse when you have you got 2 cover corners that you don't always need to play zone. And a lot of times we were getting the pressure on the quarterback because we went to a man-to-man, which allowed Leonard, the king of the almost sack, to almost get a sack.
And the other thing is, why did Wink Martindale get fired?
I really don't know.
You know why?
I don't know, Dom.
He had 3 out of 4 years top 10 defenses, and I know it regressed this year, but he's got a phenomenal record, right? Come on, give the man a break. He's on the market. I'm on board fans.
And they had numerous amounts of injuries, like that Vegas game where they got blown out. They were starting 3rd and 4th string guys.
I was nearly on the roster for that one. It's, but yeah, I'd like to say Fangio would be my pick for DC, but if Martindale's coming in, I am not sorry at all.
I would love Martindale to come here. I think that would be. I think that would be fun. That would be phenomenal. That would be building a staff.
And Tim, do you have actually anybody for offense coordinator? You probably know a little bit better than me that you'd want. We already know what Dable's linked to, the quarterback coach Dorsey out of Bills, but.
Yeah. And it's funny though, because I honestly wouldn't even have an idea where they would want to go, because without the head coach, I have no idea what his philosophy is.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the biggest thing. Defense is a little, especially if you're going to bring in Brian Dable. He's an offensive guy. So he's going to want to find someone that has his similar offensive ability and thought process. I'm not saying he's going to leave the defense alone, but he's going to have more of a say and more of a mind's eye on the guy who's going to come in and run the offense.
I'm just worried that when we do bring in Dable, this is one of my things that I'm worried about, is we have a similar situation where Pat Shermer's all about the offense and
right.
Okay, you go do the defense.
I'm actually kind of concerned about that too. That's kind of where I was going exactly with that. I get worried that he's going to kind of not forget. about the defense, but he's going to kind of do like the 85 Bears where Ditka was doing, the offense, and you had Buddy Ryan on the defense, and Ditka didn't care what the what the other side was doing. Not that I'm comparing this team to the 85 Bears, no stretch of the imagination, but I actually do get concerned about that. OGR though, if we couldn't get Wink, and this is what people keep asking me, what about Leslie Frazier?
I've never been a fan of Leslie Frazier.
I don't like Leslie Frazier.
I don't. To me, like, it's different. Like, there's a guy that used to always get jobs in the league, and I couldn't understand why, because all his defenses performed terribly. Don Capers. I couldn't stand Don Capers. Everywhere he goes, defense performed badly. And to me, Leslie Frazier, it's like a Perry Fuel defense where he had the same track record. Great, we can stop the pass. Oh, but they can gash us for like 6 yards of play on the ground. So
yeah, it reminds I said it before the other day. It's like the Joe Bugle syndrome. Joe Bugle at least had a career as an offensive coordinator, but as soon as he went up to the head coaching level, he sucked. But then even after he got all of his head coaching jobs out of his way, he started sucking as a coordinator again. But then people kept hiring him. And it's almost like you're hiring the name. You're hiring the name Leslie Frazier, hiring the name Joe Bugle.
You're hiring on the reputation that was. You can have one miss, maybe two, but then it starts to become a pattern. You have to look at the recency of it. Right. You're exactly spot on. And then Frazier Scott will have been hurt by yesterday.
Head coach.
You also coach soccer, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was just coaching soccer the other day.
Yeah,
I was coaching soccer. I coach my sons, like 5 and 6 year olds.
Yeah, I've got the under sevens. Yeah.
But 5 and 6 year olds are fun because the last game of the year, real quick story, it was pouring rain, and I thought, okay, they're going to cancel it. My buddy, as a joke, got on the console and said, no, we can play the game. So I had 5 and 6 year olds in jackets playing, and it's 0-0. And I clearly have the best players. Like, this guy had 2 kids that were huddled up in a goal, but it's not like it's one of those collapsible goals. And I took the biggest kid on the team. I said, kick it as hard as you can. They're going to get out of the way. Sure enough, he scores the game-winning goal. Game over.
Well, I actually have another question for OGR, because we were talking briefly last stream that you have a degree. Are you in communications or broadcasting?
Yes, I have a degree from Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting. This was actually a serious question because I was going to text you, but I got you online. Dom and I were talking about my producer and how well that's going already. Any advice for a novice radiophile, I would assume you could call me, who's going into a show that's got no clue what he's doing and is going to be talking for 6 hours? Any advice? And I'm actually being serious.
Again, I was a student, so I'm not the master here.
But still, you have more experience.
Producer runs the show.
Yes.
I mean,
that out.
As you become a better on-air talent, and let's hope you rise to the ranks and become the next Howard Stern. I'm
assuming I'm getting fired in the first 9 minutes. Dom has me at 8.
Dom has you at 8.
I had you at 9.
I had myself at 19,
including the news.
I'll be nice and I'll give you an hour.
All right, I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
But it's basically, he runs the show.
He
keeps you on time. You're gonna have a guy in your ear telling you when to cut the break, when to do reads, because if it's a local radio station, they are going to ask you to read about soap and whatever else. So it's basically staying on time, understand when you're coming up to breaks, and doing the best you can that way, while still being entertaining on the air. I mean, it's going to be tough for 6 hours, but you've so far you've done it for 2 hours and 18 minutes. So.
Oh yeah, like I said, but I mean, the only thing that got me, and I was talking to Dom about it, that he doesn't want me to script my show. He wants me to, I guess, build an outline of what I'm going to do and what I'm going to say and what do I want to talk about. And I was having a conversation with him again today, and Dom was laughing because I had the conversation right before I came on with Dom. Again, I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I don't care.
Well, technically, we went live and we were still having it, forgetting we were live. So that's tip number 1. Don't do that when you're on your show.
What are you going to be on the show? What is the radio station?
Well, I can't give that out yet till I have official clearance, but it will be, the first show is going to be February 18th. I can tell you that. As soon as I clear my background and everything else and a few other things, we're going to have a major announcement about that. But he, like I was telling Dom, he was saying that the producer was saying because he asked me how I do this show. And I told him, I said, I don't know. I just turn on the mic and I start talking. He said, well, you can't do that. We have to have a plan. We have to have a format. We have to see where things fit. And I jumped on with Dom right after, and I said, I don't think this is going to work out too well.
You'll be fine. You'll get used to it.
Give them a basic idea of what you're going to do.
Right.
A basic outline, whatever it's going to be. Sports, news. I don't know.
It's all sports. It's all sports.
It's all.
He's learning hockey.
I'm learning hockey. I'm learning hockey.
From a computer game.
The channel is
1995.
93. I'm playing Sega Genesis at NHL 93.
God, you know what? That's the only thing EA. You know what? That's the only thing that EA produced well. Is hockey.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. I enjoy that game. I enjoy. It's 93, and I still enjoy that game.
No, I still do. I remember sitting there in NHL 94.
Yeah.
And making teams. I always picked the Dallas Stars, even though I was a Whalers fan. Go figure.
See, I always do the Rangers. I like Jeff Bukaboom. I just always like the name.
I always get clowned on because I'm in Connecticut, so I get both markets. So people are like, "How can you be a Giants, Boston, Celtics fan, Boston Red Sox fan?" Because I get both markets, and that's what my dad used to always root for, the opposite of what his brother used to root for. So brother was rooting for the Rams one day, the Giants. He said, I'm taking the Giants. And, ever since, the 70s, my dad's been a Giants fan. So,
yeah. Well, like I said, it's upstate New York. It's near the border of Canada. So it's actually, it's quasi New York Canadian station. We're going to talk
Bills.
What's that? I got to talk Bills. I got to talk Toronto Blue Jays. I have to talk Maple Leafs. I can't remember the name he told me. The Raptors. They gave me a list of things I need to discuss. So, I mean, they just more wanted the melodious voice, I think. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll do a big announcement though. But like I said, I was just curious what your thought process was, because we're going to do a trial run show in a week. So I think that'll be fun.
It's just staying on time, knowing your breaks, and filling up as much as you can. And I don't know, are you going to be taking in calls or anything like that?
I don't know, because it's from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m.
I'm calling in from 4 to 6 using different voices and names.
Actually, believe it or not, that's when the calls are actually most popular, because
really?
They know not as many people are listening.
I didn't know that.
You might be able to take calls live on air.
Yeah, I'm doing what I am, because I'm doing what they refer to as overnight fill-in.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know overnight actually meant. I was assuming overnight was like 10. I think it started at midnight.
Well, you know what? If I'm going to listen, because I understand most things are like recorded after the fact.
Right.
So I definitely, when you're on air, I definitely got to take a listen. I can promise you, I'm going to listen episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right. That's great. That's 2. I got 2 listeners now.
I'm calling in 4 till 6 using different names and voices.
Yes. I told Dom I need different, but now that OGR is telling me people actually call in, because yes, it is a call-in show.
What I can do to fill in time for you, if they allow, is I wake up at 4 a.m. every morning, and I have about an hour drive to work. So I can talk to you on my way home.
Listen, I'm looking for all the help I can get. I'm already telling people that. I'm like, but like I said, it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. The first show will be on the 18th. That's starting at 12 a.m. Probably around the 11th, I will give everyone the station ID and the website, because they do broadcast streaming on their site. And I think, Dom, you can even get it, but it's got like an AU at the end of it. It's I think their site is in Canada. So that'll I don't know. That'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time. Mr. OJ, I'm going to let you drop off, because
before he does, can I ask a quick question? Wider NFL question.
Sure.
It's a real simple one. Conference games this weekend. Who's going to the Super Bowl?
Oh, good.
Okay. I'll give you 2 answers. So,
I hope so, because we need 2 teams.
Who I want to see in the Super Bowl? I want to see Bengals 49ers. That's who I'm rooting for this weekend. Good old fashioned 80s matchup. So I definitely want to see that. But I'd be pressed to tell you that I don't think that it's just going to be the 2 favorites, Kansas City Rams.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm rooting for the Bengals, though. They're on my underdog team, and if anybody's going to pull up an upset, it's going to be them, I think.
I think so. I do. I would like the Bengals, but I just don't. I just don't think the stars are going to align. All right,
No.
Dom, do you have any other questions? Because like I said, we have to sign off, and I'm gonna let OGR drop off because I want to talk to Dom for a few minutes before we check out of here. And
Good to
OGR, I
speak
appreciate
again,
you.
OGR.
I always appreciate you coming on and joining the show. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully, you know what I'm thinking of doing is a roundtable of. We might have to do a roundtable of all giant YouTubers.
Oh, I can get plenty for you. That's not a problem.
Well, we might have to consider doing that on the Sunday stream because I think that's usually we get our biggest audiences. But again,
Actually, a real quick thing. David Ortiz actually looks like he might be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just got the nose. Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens fell short again.
Oh. You know what? They took greenies or they took speed back in the 80s. You know, and no one said anything. They tell the story about how they had big vials of amphetamines in their lockers. You know, so they can. Keith Hernandez talks about it, how they would take these so they could play and stay up. And the '86 Mets were known for that. You know, taking little green pills to keep them going. But then steroids or allegedly steroids, when you still have to hit the ball or throw the ball, is worse than taking amphetamines to stay up so you can play.
Yeah, this is one for another time, but I'll talk about human growth hormone on the next one.
All right, perfect.
Little fun fact. Anyways, I will sign off because I know you got to eat. Dom, as always, a pleasure. Chat,
And you,
pleasure
man.
as well. You guys have a great day.
You too, Roger. I appreciate it, my friend.
Even I've heard of David Ortiz.
You ever heard of David Ortiz?
Yeah.
We had a couple super chats I had to burn through. If the Giants cut Martinez, do they draft a linebacker from Eric? I think they need to draft a linebacker either way.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm
not against using a top end pick for a linebacker. Not the first one, but a trade back first round.
No, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, I think either way, I'm drafting a linebacker, and this is for Frankie S. Yeah, Tim, don't sing. On the way you look tonight, what just makes that little ant think he can move that rubber tree plant? Everyone knows an ant can't sing it, Tom. Move a rubber tree plant because he's got
the bare necessities.
High hopes. He's got high hopes. He's got high apple pie in the sky hopes. All right, that's
guys. When are you going to learn? When you say Tim, don't do something, he's definitely going to do it.
Oh, you never tell me not to do something because I'm on it. That was my biggest problem in school.
And that's also a tip to your future producer, by the way. If you want him to do something, tell him to do the opposite. He'll do it.
I will do it. Not sure if we discussed this, but how much would you give up for Sean Payton if it was possible?
I talked about it earlier.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a first
didn't hear
rounder.
your answer.
Yeah, I think it's got to be a first rounder minimum.
Would you do it?
No.
No, I can't give it up either.
There's just too many guys right now that we have an opportunity for that I just don't see that happening. Can't identify your guest accent. Pretty sure he's not from Jersey. You mean Dom? Yeah. No, Dom is from Jersey. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a little island just off the southwest coast.
Hey Tim, we need Pickett. I don't want Pickett.
No,
unless I'm gonna pick it and flick it, I don't need Pickett.
Nothing against his quality, but I don't want that type of quarterback. And also, someone mentioned earlier, he's got the worst name for quarterback in the NFL.
He does. He really does.
Dom, Pickett 6.
A Pickett 6. Dom, what are you thinking here, Dom? What do you got going on here, man? I mean, what's your final thought? What is your final? I love this. I got a magic 8 ball at the Boy Rockets. I'm seeing your private chats. I just finally saw them. I'm not going to read them because they're dirty.
They're not dirty.
They're dirty.
They're not dirty.
Dom, I am embarrassed. I am somewhat ashamed of you because if you want to get dirty, you go to the Poppycockers, the best in adult London entertainment on the West End. If you want your poppycock, you come down to Poppycockers and you meet the Dahmer. Sorry, had to get one last one in. What's your thoughts, Don? What's your final wrap up? Because I got to go. I got to finish making dinner.
Well, I'm going to ask you one final question, which is: we've got the press conference tomorrow for the GM. I know you're not a big press conference guy, and I get that. But how do you play this if you're the GM for the press conference? You've got a media in New York that is challenging to say the least, but you've also got a fan expectation which is going to be high, but we've not got the team to match. How do you play that tomorrow?
I think you avoid the Joe Judge way. I don't think you go that direction like he did. You don't go in. If it's me and I'm him, I'm talking about the history of the Giants. I'm talking about all the great teams that came before us. I'm talking about the things that we are going to do that are going to allow us to reach the pinnacle again, how we are going to go back into the past, but look into the future and use the future to augment the past. I'm just going to extol Giant history, talk about how I think, how we can move forward from what we are to what we can be, and just say shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you almost ignore the question. You go,
Right.
I think you're right. You go, this is my vision, and you're not putting a timescale on that, because I think we do need to manage expectation. But look, last one quickly, 11-minute rant on why you're the man. Yes, no.
I'm going to vote no on that. Me or Shane? I can go more than 11 minutes.
Vote no on January 26th.
Oh my goodness. Well, everyone, this is Tim and the Dahmer. We went 2 hours and 30 minutes. We went way over time.
Again.
We got a lot of people dropping, a lot of fun. Everyone always goes, it's always fun, your show, because of the fact that you don't know what the hell's going to happen. We never know what's going to happen either way. I mean, it's just...
we don't plan it. This is how it rolls.
This is planned. I like to refer to it as planned chaos. I like to thank everyone that jumped in the stream and held on for a long time. We got, of course, Evan. We still got Evan Ingram in the chat. We got Frankie S. We got the Zappo still hanging in there. We got, we got a lot of good guys, man. We got Abe Froman, Jeff. You got Jeff Newman over there. You got the Zach Attack. You got Flip. You got everyone. You got everyone that supports the channel. I appreciate it. I love everyone. Like, subscribe. You gotta like, because that does something to the algorithms. I don't know. Just fucking like. How hard is it? Make push a button that says like. I want like 4,000 likes on every video.
Is that so we can get the Poppycockers website up and running?
Yes. Yes. Seriously, yes.
It's trademarks and everything. We're good to go.
We're good to rock and roll, man. I'm ready. John B, Frank S, everyone, thank you. Thank you, everyone, for dropping in. I got to go make dinner and go to the bathroom. So for Dom.
In that order, or?
I guess I could do both at the same time. From us, guys, appreciate it. We're out. We're out. We're out.